Hi guys! You know how things always go wrong on my streams? Well, they went really wrong today. Jesus fucking Christ! Hopefully I have fixed it. Hopefully I have fixed it. I was having this problem last night and I thought my ISP was just throttling me because I've been game streaming a lot lately. Here, I gotta adjust my side-chan face. Why am I so high up? What happened? Here, there we go. I'm gonna mess up all my presets now in my stream VODs. Hello everyone. I'm afraid to fucking turn on the music. I don't know what's gonna happen if I overload the system. But yeah, so but right before I tried to stream, I did a test and everything was good. I was like, okay, cool, my problems must be solved. And then I tried to stream and it like tanked to fucking red again. And then, so I had to update Windows, I update my GPU, I fucking did a whole reset of my network. I am not on the Wi-Fi at all, I'm only on my Ethernet. So hopefully... No, I am not high enough for this, damn it! This is Lily's fault somehow. Anyway, we're not talking about Lily today. We're gonna be talking about someone completely different. But let me get all my shit set up now that we're apparently not dying anymore. And maybe I can stream some more Dragon Age tonight after all. We'll see. Thank you. I'm glad you guys all come to me for me. A lot of people seem to think that's not true. Now I'm obsessively looking at my up and down time on my Ethernet. I'm like, I've got like monitors up everywhere, making sure nothing is gonna fuck up now. I'm so paranoid. Oh god. Okay. I've had a week and I do not need this right now. Christ. Okay, nice soothing neat speeds music. Okay. Clear skies, clear skies, clear skies. Anyway, is Krim here? Thank you for the, we're all talking about soup now. Obviously, I needed to give the router soup. You're right. Hi, Krim. I think I fixed my internet. I'm sorry you guys had to put up with so much fucking technical difficulties today. I don't know what I'm gonna do with the stream, because if I just edit out the beginning, it's gonna kill the live chat, so... Yeah. Thank you for the super chats, everybody. I don't know why they're not appearing on screen. Oh no. Did something else break? I was too concerned getting the... getting the thing working. Let me just restart. Let me go into Stream Elements real quick. I'm not on, I haven't started Twitch yet. Let me go start them. That's why you're not seeing any tomatoes right now. We'll see how we do. Because it didn't seem like dual streaming was the problem. Okay. Hopefully nothing just starts dying immediately. Why aren't the super chats appearing? Well, the desktop audio's off, but... It did die, Krim. I had to go update Windows, update my GPU, and restart my entire network to try to solve this problem. Let me just make sure I'm on the right Stream Elements overlay now. Here, let me do a fake super chat. And, hopefully... Well, the tomatoes are working.
Darren sent a super chat. Science is the best.
Okay. So my test super chat worked. Hopefully we're back to normal now. As normal as my streams ever get. This kid almost got lucky. That I wasn't gonna react to his videos. Right. I should be working on Switcheroo, which I haven't worked on in a while. I've been a little distracted by Dragon Age, guys. If you haven't noticed, I've been streaming Dragon Age Veilguard a lot. I really like Dragon Age. Yeah, you gotta double sound because I have Stream Elements open. Here, I could just send myself a super chat and chat and see if that works. Here, I'll send myself a super sticker. And see if it works okay. I'm buying myself a super sticker. Okay. Why didn't it go? Ah! Thank you for the super chat. Release Golden Heart Soul. I do not know why they're not displaying right now. That's odd. I don't know what to do about that. Yeah, I don't know why my my super chat TTS isn't working. Which is weird, because like I said, the emulating it works. Somehow this is Lorch's fault. I'll just read out super chats if I have to, but I'm a little pissed about this. Let me just try to like make a completely new instance of my overlay, just in case. We'll call this shill overlay of YouTube. You guys might see something fucky at first. Hang on a second. I'm fixing it. My streams are so stable, you guys. I gave us 2 YouTube chats, of course. Okay. Need to move it down. Where's it go? Over here. Now, I'm gonna test it one more time. I guess I'll just send myself a super chat again. I'll send myself a super chat. Your super chat money is going to me buying myself super chats to test my super chats, you see. Maybe I need to reconnect my account to Stream Elements, but the chat's working. It's so weird. Why? Why? Okay, hang on a second. I did turn off the TTS on another screen, but I don't... Yeah, that doesn't affect this one. It's so odd. I guess you guys can't interrupt me with super chats. Oh yeah, I'm super chatting myself from OBS. That's the funny part. At least you guys can throw tomatoes and pumpkins at me still. Yeah, I don't know why they're not working. What is going on? Ah! YouTube, you just need some built-in apps, bro. Well, like, I did switch, like, ingest servers, like, 50 fucking times trying to fix this, so. Huh. So bizarre, but thank you for your super chats. I'll try to read them out when I see them. I'm sorry it's not reading them out for me. There's no reason it shouldn't, but... Thank you. It's Inception. You give me money and I give myself money to test my fucking super chats. When I test it on the overlay, it works! I don't know, man. I'm just having a bad week, apparently, but at least the stream is working. And at least I could probably stream games. Testing part 3, sir. Thank you. You don't gotta keep sending me money to test it, but thank you, guys. I do appreciate it. Some people do find the interruption of super chats annoying, so I guess those people win today. Alright, let me get my file open. I still have not, finalized Wolfenite's colors, because I have so much going on right now. I'll show you what I'm working on for Anthony, though, for his video on Friday. Maybe we'll choose what we work on today. Well, let me open my reference for Wolfie. That would be good. See, the stream screwing up is an allegory of the state of America will be in once 2025 starts. Clearly, Sai is actually a genius at political satire. Yes, Majin Lifestyle, you're correct. Thank you. Thought you were super chatting yourself to flex your wealth. It's very... Oh yeah, my vast amounts of wealth. Yeah, I totally have that. I'm totally not like a lower middle class marginalized person making money on YouTube and people are vilifying me for that. It might be a little spicy today. Oh no you don't. Don't you blank screen on me, Clip Studio. Alright, it's opening the file, which is actually pretty large, so it's gonna take it a little bit. I can try to turn the other overlay back on, but I don't know what's doing this. I don't know what's doing this. No, I'm on my Ethernet. I had to reset my fucking network, though. It's not loading my file. This is wonderful. Maybe we will be working on Ant's thing today instead. I'm just having all sorts of problems today. Now Clip Studio's not cooperating. Maybe we will be working on Ant's thumbnail instead. If I can't get my fucking file open, hang on, I might have to restart Clip Studio now. In my defense, I did just update my, GPU. It might be freaking out a little bit. And just make sure my Huion's on the right screen while I'm at it. It is. Okay, cool. This is the most scuffed stream of all time. I don't know, the universe is just against me this week, apparently. I'm just having all sorts of issues. In every aspect of my life. It's great. It's fun times, guys. It's very fun times. I just want to make fun of these videos! They're probably not even gonna be that egregious. I just want to see what they're like. We've all been curious about these fucking videos this guy has been uploading. Alright, I want to show you what I'm working on for Ant, because it's funny. So Ant is doing a video on Cthulhu on Friday. And I'm working on the thumbnail for it. So it's gonna be him and his friend as beach tourists as Cthulhu rises in the ocean behind them. So you can look forward to Ant's video on Friday with this thumbnail. I thought it'd be funny if he just looked like a stereotypical stupid tourist. You loved it. Alright, I'm gonna try one more time to open my fucking Wolfenite file here. While we listen to Megalovania and I try not to just lose my mind. I just want to go outside and like blast everybody with my skeleton powers right now. Where's my drawing pen too? Oh god. Everything's going wrong. Alright, where are my works I can manage? Please open this time. Please open. I am the funny bone devil. I relate heavily to Sans Undertale. Alright, let me go get this guy's channel up while I'm, waiting for my fucking art file to open.
How did Steven become the strongest?
No, you shut up! Not ready to watch it yet. I can't get my file to open. We're just working on Ant's thumbnail, because I need to get it done anyway. And then I'll figure out what the hell is wrong with this. I can probably at least recover it from an autosave. I've had to do that before. Alright, I am gonna BRB for a second, though, to look for my tablet pen. after all this nonsense. Like, oh, good, the file's loading. Thank fucking God, but I'll be right back. I found it. It was just right behind my tablet. Look, I can relate to Sans being a depressed goofball, as I am. Sai, sacrifice the jerk from Dragon Age Veilguard. Which one? Tosh? I will sacrifice Tosh, yes. Tosh has given Ogren a run for his money for worst companion of the franchise. Written by one of my favorite writers in the franchise, which is just more heartbreaking. He's not only a hobbit, but Sans too? Crazy, I know. I'm not even that short in real life. But I always depict myself as, like, wicked short. Oh yeah, Krim was telling me the stream is dead. I know, Krim, thank you. I was having all these technical fucking problems. I think we're good now. And we're listening. The only thing is my super chats aren't reading out, and I have no idea why. Nothing that happened should be affecting stream elements. Speaking of the Miracle Musical, guys, actually, the real Dan the Man and I are going to be doing a stream on Hawaii Part 2 next month on the 12th, on the anniversary. On the 12th anniversary of the album coming out on 12/12/12. So, that should be pretty fun. You guys can look forward to that. I'll be hyping it up for sure. We've been planning this, like, all year. When Undertale first came out, I was a teenager who thought Sans was peak because, haha, funny meme skeleton. Hearing Megalovania makes me cringe. Well, I still love Sans, so there. He's my spirit animal. Yeah, RIP super chats for now, I guess. Unless I want to try to, like, make a whole separate scene for them and reset it up. But you guys don't want to sit around watching me fucking do that. So, we are going to finally start the react. Like I said, I still haven't really finalized Wolfenite's colors yet, but, I can at least do the shading and stuff, so it's fine. Actually, let's just open my Woofy, reference as well, not the files finally fucking open. Saw them near. The hues arranged to show it's perfectly clear. Alright, Ant's going away for now. Yeah, I'm like Amanda the Adventurer right now, you're right. I'm having all sorts of glitches. Okay. As much as I'd like to keep listening to Hawaii, the song's almost over anyway. You can still throw shit at the screen on Twitch now, though. Congratulations. So, I might be able to stream Dragon Age again tonight. I do have to work on some shit in between, but... Okay, so, let's actually finally get this fucking react started. Holy crap. Anyway, I feel like the entire beginning of the stream has been the Kaiga's screaming face from Earthbound. Yeah, that's about my mood right now. You are correct. Jesus. Jesus. Anyway, let's scooch this over a little bit, I think. Boop, 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 boop. See the whole thing. Okay, so, a lot of you, like me, keep getting recommended these strange looking Steven Universe videos that have these weird provocative titles and thumbnails full of stolen fan art. Like, that's Discount Supervillain. That's Discount Supervillain. I think that's also Discount Supervillain. So, probably easy to make these too, because Discount Supervillain does a lot of art on white backgrounds. Actually, let's go to their Tumblr real quick. Discount Supervillain. This is somebody I've followed for a while. There we go. So, amazing artist, does a lot of these cute little Patreon request drawings that have white backgrounds, so probably pretty easy for Crow Reviewer to just snag these and make a white background thumbnail out of it, you know? So I'm a little like I'm a little against that. Like, you're just taking this artist's work and slapping it on your thumbnail when it doesn't even have anything to do with the topic of the video you're talking about. So I don't like that. I don't think they have permission, you know? Oh, hey, I hadn't seen that one before. Nice. I love Discount Supervillain's art. I've been learning a lot about shading, actually, from looking at their art lately. I would love to be able to produce drawings this good, this fast. I would love... I'm a little too persnickety, as we know. Steal fan art, -1 point. Exactly. Exactly, Release Heart Soul. Thanks for the super chat. I'm just gonna have to read them out today. I gotta have to admit that bell-bottoms, long-haired Lapis might do something for me here. Anyway, enough of that. So, which one should we watch first? This parenting one seems like it might be pretty bad. I did click on it. I didn't watch it. I clicked on it. I think I saw a little bit of their TikTok Vine Boom editing and was like, oh god. I have a goofy laugh, yeah, probably. But yeah, like we keep this, everyone just keeps getting these recommended, like, everywhere, and it's like, what is this? What is this? I don't think they're necessarily all critical videos, but like, what the worse than lust? What the fuck is this? The problem with human decency on Steven Universe? Like, what the fuck are you talking about, bro? It's a children's show. Hang on, I'm looking for my house coat. I'm a little cold. I'm a little cold after all my IT suffering today. Yeah, we're gonna watch the parenting one first. So, yeah, this is the more discount supervillain fan art. You're just fucking nabbing off the fucking internet, bro. OLS Mark did a little thing on these too, or at least these sorts of videos. All right, so let's see. At least these are short, so we can do a few of them. Let's see what the Crow Reviewer thinks about Rebecca Sugar's broken parenting system. I'm sure this is going to be full of very good insight and not at all some kind of, like, bias against non-traditional family makeups or anything, you know. Let's go.
Steven Universe was pretty incredible, but how was your relationship with your father?
Who the starts a conversation like that? I just sat down.
Okay, so that's also stolen discount supervillain art, because they do that small dot thing all the time. Do you give credit? Do you give credit? Oh, you do. At least you give credit. But I don't think you ask permission. Also, hashtags are completely useless on YouTube now, my bro. Completely useless. There's no point in doing these. You should just be having good keywords in your description. Shoddy work, Pinkman. Very shoddy work.
While having both of your parents can be considered to be a blessing in itself, the importance of having a decent father figure in our lives while growing up cannot be understated. And that's...
Oh god, I don't like the borderline MRA bullshit this is going into already.
coming from someone who grew up without one for the majority of their life.
Oh, this is definitely fatherless behavior, so...
Can't stay here and humor you. I have to be there for my son.
You're late.
I feel like this is a hot take, but Greg was kind of a terrible dad. I am guessing that the reason that most of us feel weird about calling Greg out for doing things like not sending Steven to school.
You mean like how Mr. Universe, like, covered all of that in Steven Universe Future? You know, for the people like you who couldn't pick up on the subtleties of the show and they had to beat you over the head with them, you know? That?
Not ever bringing him to a library, and not even having the decency to take him in for regular checkups, is simply because it's clear that he was at least a loving father who was always trying his best. The man is immune to criticism.
Look, his kid is half alien. I mean... Taking him to the doctor might have been a little like, maybe the government is going to take my child away. Oh, I'm not even on the right layer. No wonder that wasn't working. No, you're supposed to go to the layer I click on. Yeah, there we go.
Because he has the infamous hat in the right place syndrome.
You messed with my head!
No, I didn't mean for... I just wanted to live with my son again!
Get out of here! Go on! Get
What is this editing?
Yeah, Greg might have been emotionally absent from Steven's life throughout the duration of the original series, but at least his hat was in
Emotionally absent? What? Like, he might be kind of physically absent because he goes off and lives in his van while Steven lives in a big house. But he's not emotionally absent. What the fuck are you talking about?
the right place. Yeah, Greg might have chosen to keep Steven isolated from the outside world to such an extent that he never even met other members of his own family or hung out with other humans until he was 13. But
He hung out with other humans like Lars and the cool kids before he met Connie. And, like, Greg disowned his family, basically. They say he drove off in his van when he was 18 and never came back. I mean, what do you expect, bro?
at least his heart was in the right place. Yeah, Greg might have lied to Steven about having a broken leg for an entire day, resulting in him losing one of his most useful abilities for nearly...
Yeah, Yeah, it's one of those fucking early season 1 episodes nobody likes when they were still kind of finding their feet. It's like stereotypical shitcom. Well, they are sitcoms. Stereotypical shitcom shenanigans. Nobody likes that episode.
Only 2 seasons, but at least his heart was in the right place.
Call the police.
Oh, I'm way ahead of you, Mr.
What is
Universe.
this editing? No!
Look, we're not
What is this fucking TikTok editing, my bro? Did you make this for like 8-year-olds with ADHD? What is going on?
only here to judge Greg's parenting during the original series. Let's also take a closer look at the way that Greg chose to handle parenting during Steven Universe Future. Maybe it can be argued that he was reformed as a father after Steven—
You mean Steven Universe Future, the one that actually like criticizes him and shows why he is the way he is and how that's not necessarily the best thing for Steven, but it is what it is? You know? Like how your parents screw you up in a different way by trying not to screw you up in the way their parents screwed up them, you know, that sort of thing.
Steven managed to establish peace across the universe. Nope, no, he somehow got even worse.
Is this where our name comes from?
Yes, exactly.
You took it from a song?
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
Forget about being emotionally absent. Now he's just straight up telling our boy Steven that he was better off as a kid than his father was. Which is still probably one of the craziest statements that anyone has ever said on the entire show.
Trust me.
Actually, yes, the police do exist in Beach City, and I can prove it. It's one of my favorite visual gags. The missing posters they used for Onion were actually, wanted posters by the Beach City Police. This is my favorite visual gag in the entire show. Right here. I love it. Krusty Krabby, thank you for the super chat, says, as a person with teenage parents and a father that wasn't really around, I wish I had a dad like Greg, or a dad at all. Also, Steven at a normal school would be catastrophic. Probably. Yeah, like, you could say Greg is physically absent, but he's definitely not emotionally absent. What the fuck do you mean, bro?
You're better off than I was.
What?
Everyone's trauma is real to them, and this isn't the tragic childhood Olympics or anything. But there's no way that Greg's childhood was comparable to anything that Steven had to go through on a bi-weekly basis.
My problem isn't that I'm a gem. My problem is I'm a universe.
He's out of line, but he's right.
Parenting is one of the most complicated subjects to cover because it's all about perspective. I bet that some of you could genuinely convince me that Greg was a good father, even after I've shown you how strongly I feel about the idea that he wasn't.
Well, you haven't really justified that idea at all. You just say things and then you do annoying TikTok editing with stolen fan art. What even point are you making? What is happening?
Because that's called being human. We're constantly growing, evolving, and changing our perspectives.
I'm proud of you.
What?
Well, bro, yeah, that moment was supposed to be... Dude, you missed the entire point of that moment. Greg was trying to support Steven in the way his parents never supported him, but for Steven, he's looking for structure and discipline at that moment. So Greg saying, I'm proud of you after Steven has crashed the fucking van, upset Steven, and he ends up deleting the photo of Greg as a kid that he took. Like, that was not the right thing to say to him in that moment, and the show shows us that. Like, did you watch this with your eyes closed and your ears plugged?
Brother, what's that?
This is like,
What's that,
dude, you're
brother?
padding
Believe
your
it or
fucking
not, but we
videos.
actually got a ton of insight into the bizarre way that Greg chose to raise Steven during the series' official run of comics. Created by Rebecca Sugar herself, Steven Universe issue number—
Oh, yeah, he goes into the comics a lot, and the show, bro, the show is created by Rebecca Sugar. You see how her name isn't anywhere in the rest of this? Ignore created by Rebecca Sugar. That means Steven Universe. Up here, dummy. These comics were written by Taylor Robin. And the colors were by Whitney Cougar and illustrated by SMR. These are all not Rebecca Sugar right here. These are all different people. the comics are really like second level canon, you know? They're kind of in a gray area that we don't really know if they should be considered canon or not. So, like, yeah, it doesn't say the comics are created by Rebecca Sugar, it says the fucking franchises, you dipshit! She didn't personally work on these comics.
Number 35 not only gave us much needed insight into Greg's parenting style, but it also blessed us with more insight into Bismuth's deeply chaotic mind as well, when she accidentally creates one of the greatest threats that the citizens of Beat City has ever.
Wasn't this about parenting? Bismuth is not a parent to Steven. Bismuth just met him! But she got unbubbled after 5,000 fucking years. She doesn't do any parenting.
Faced. The comic issue being set after Steven and the Crystal Gems leave the Earth in order for them to appeal to White Diamond on Homeworld, opens with Greg holding Cat Steven at the car wash when Mr. Fryman pulls up in his broken down van, hoping to get Greg to keep it from falling apart. Greg lets Mr. Fryman know that Pearl is usually the one who fixes his van when it gets torn down by gem activity, but she was currently off planet with Steven, and I'm sorry to break the flow of this comic so soon, but I just have to ask, what gem did that to Mr. Fryman's van? It's also incredibly surreal.
Well, did he say a gem did it, or is his car just fucking breaking down? Surprised it's looking so good after all those gem attacks. Well, like, it's probably, like, from, like, you know, the diamonds, when the diamonds came to the wedding and there was a big fight, there might have been some extra damage, or maybe that's when Peridot's ship crashed. I mean, the show doesn't take place over that long period of time, man. Or at least Golden Soul says, okay, look, no one calls Greg an amazing father, but he was the best one he could be. Hell, we have episodes showing him growing and maturing. His worst is that he is overcorrecting for his childhood. He is. He's overcorrecting for his childhood, and he's way too emotionally attached to that fucking van. And, and I wish it had crashed and died permanently.
Feel that the citizens of Beat City are now finally acknowledging the fact that gems exist. They usually just blissfully act like nothing.
They know gems exist. The gems have lived by the city this entire time. Like, when they show up when the ocean gets sold, Dewey's like, oh, it's those magical ladies. Like, they're aware of them. But the mood of Steven Universe is a little bit like Invader Zim, where humans are just kind of oblivious to a lot of things. And just kind of accepting, like, oh, that's weird. Big green hand in the sky. Huh, wonder what that's about. You know? It's like... you have to... It's the tone, man. It's the tone. It's on purpose.
Nothing is going on, no matter how bad things got.
Sorry about that!
What?
Anyway, looking for the next best gem for the job, Greg introduces Mr. Fryman to Bismuth. Greg, deeply concerned with the ruthless way that Bismuth was handling Mr. Fryman's van, decides to give her a little bit of space while she worked her magic. The following day, when Mr. Fryman passes by the car wash to pick up his van, he notices that it looked different, to say the least.
Do you remember that Bismuth was the weapon maker for the crystal gems? Of course she'd turn it into a fucking tank. That's her specialty. That's the joke, man. Gems are rather naive about human standards. No matter how long they've been on the Earth, they just don't think the same way humans do because they're fucking aliens. You know, that's what makes them interesting.
It turns out that Bismuth decided to add a fully functional laser light cannon to the vehicle,
yeah, it's
causing
hilarious.
Mr. Fryman to look on the bright side by referencing the fact that he'd finally be able to defend himself from homeward handships, which is a lie. Bismuth doesn't correct him here either, but laser light cannons are useless against modern-day handships. Bismuth, satisfied with her work on Mr. Fryman's van,
wait a minute, well, Bismuth wouldn't know that! Bismuth wouldn't know that. How the fuck? She just got unbubbled for the wedding. She's probably been out of her bubble again for like a month. She doesn't know what modern gem tech looks like. Dude, you just don't know the lore.
To wander around the boardwalk with Cat Steven and Greg, in hopes of giving even more citizens of Beat City the means of defending themselves from future gem attacks. Despite Greg...
Well, I mean, right now they're concerned about the diamonds attacking the Earth again, so yeah, of course you'd be like, hey, let's get everybody ready for war, just like in the old days. Of course she'd think like that. That's where the comedy of this is coming from, dude. It's a cultural misunderstanding.
Greg's protest. The team runs into Jenny, who lets Bismuth know that she needed help fixing her car's headlights. After talking about possible upgrades to her vehicle, Jenny lets Bismuth know that she wasn't exactly in favor of installing 2 laser light cannons to the front of her car, leading them to come into an agreement of installing a giant weaponized claw into the vehicle instead. Bismuth
Yeah, that's why it's funny, bro. The ridiculous of this is the joke. Yeah, wasn't this about Greg? I might just start doing backgrounds tonight while we watch this. I'm kind of just picking at the line art right now, but
reveals that her new plan was to transform the citizens of Beat City, soon followed by every other human being on the.
Well, hey, look, you're missing this important dialogue up here. Hang on. Where Bismuth says the crystal gems need a new army, and if the humans fight with us, we can take on anything. And Greg's like, but Jenny's a teenager. She shouldn't be fighting. And then Bismuth says, you think so? Well, I don't know a whole lot about humans, but isn't she older than Steven? I mean, she's got a point. She's got a point. I was like, what? What's the problem? Steven's like 14 and goes into danger all the time, and Jenny's like 18. So that's like, what? That's like 500 years in gem time, right? She doesn't understand. That's where the comedy of this is coming from.
Reveals that her new plan was to transform the citizens of Beat City, soon followed by every other human being on the planet,
I've actually read this one, which is why I'm like, dude, you're like just not even paying attention to the dialogue.
Army of the crystal gems. Greg mentions the fact that teenagers like Jenny shouldn't be brought into the homeworld conflict because of a high level of risk, leading Bismuth to calling Greg out for allowing Steven to continue to fight alongside the other.
Well, she's not calling him out. She doesn't get it. She doesn't get it. Because the last time she was, like, aware, they were fighting a war against the diamonds, and now the same thing is going on. It's been a very short amount of time for her between the gem war and now, because she's been in a fucking bubble this whole time. So of course she's just like going right back to basics where they left off 5,000 years ago. Like, what is this? What is confusing about this to you? It's a joke.
Gems. Greg defends himself by telling Bismuth that Steven knows what he's getting himself into because he's been training, and that's just not how it works. Steven is 13 years old during this comic issue, so I think it's safe to say that
that's what they've been telling him ever since he moved in with the gems. Yes, that he needs to be trained in his powers and it could be dangerous, which is why Greg doesn't live with them. There is an explanation for this if you watch the damn show.
He definitely.
That's okay if you're late, Mio Mayo. I had so many fucking tech issues before that it was a half hour before the stream was able to start, so you didn't miss a whole lot. Overworld says, it's my birthday today. Glad the stream's working. Unfortunately, the fucking super chats are not working, but I will read them out for today. I apologize.
He does not know what he's getting himself into. But moving past Greg's awful reasoning for a moment, I actually really love Bismuth's idea of giving the citizens of Beat City the option to fight alongside the crystal gems. She isn't
So you were just complaining about it this entire time, and now you're saying, oh, it's a cool idea, actually. What the... Make up your mind!
Anyone into anything. She's quite literally just giving anyone who's interested the option of gaining a means of defending themselves against the homeward invasion. Problem is, she keeps bringing up the town state after the recent encounter with the diamonds as her reasoning for coming to this conclusion.
Well, yeah, she's concerned the diamonds are gonna destroy the fucking Earth. And this is how this is the only way she knows how to confront that problem.
Constantly claiming that the town was in a mess after everything that went down, and we know that this just isn't true. The diamonds attacked the crystal gems near the temple and the cluster emerged near the barn, meaning that it also didn't affect Beat City, so what is Bismuth talking?
You think that the ground crumbling and breaking apart there might have affected Beach City just a little bit? I mean... Also, it's a comic, bro. This doesn't happen in this show, and the comics are very dubious canonicity. Like, hi Skrill, this guy isn't driving me as crazy as Lily, but his editing sure is.
About you saw the town, it's a mess after the diamond showed up. No, we saw the town, and even in this very comic issue, it looks perfectly fine.
You don't want to test me, girl.
Dude, Boom Studios only paid like $20 a page. They're not gonna do very detailed backgrounds.
Us every time.
Anyway, after Bismuth's argument with Greg over the ethics of allowing the citizens of Beat City to join in on the fight against Homeworld, she storms off in search of finding more people in need of mechanical help, leading Bismuth to introducing herself to Miss.
Yeah, she's getting a little carried away, as gems tend to do. They can be very naive about human social standards, which is why she thinks she can just run up to the merry-go-round and pull out the controls.
Smiley, and he hilariously agrees to let her install rocket launchers around Funland. Alright, that actually makes sense.
Yeah, Mr. Smiley would definitely prefer to have weaponry protecting his fucking amusement park.
Steven, you're banned from all the rides forever!
Several consecutive explosions in the center of town result in Bismuth learning from an extremely out-of-breath Greg that Mr. Fryman was accidentally firing high-powered rockets all over the boardwalk, putting all of the citizens of Beat City in mortal danger.
Sounds awesome.
Greg gets through to Bismuth after she realizes that the citizens of Beat City don't have any experience when it comes to actually handling powerful weapons, leading to her comparing her mindset to Homeworld's. It's worth reiterating that Bismuth wasn't forcing anyone to become soldiers. She was just giving them the option of joining in on the battle for the Earth.
Dude, you can't decide if you're for or against what Bismuth is doing. Like, what is the argument you're making here? And why is this above the panel line? Where is this panel in here, actually? I'm a little... God, I'm a little discombobulated after all the bullshit I just had to go through to get the stream working. Which frame is that? Gotta be somewhere. Oh, my layers are so organized. Oh, it's all the way fucking over here. Okay, maybe I should move this artwork down where it belongs. That could be a good idea. Get in there now. Okay, good.
At a time when many of them were expressing just how frustrated they all were, but most of his comic issues are strictly only 24 pages long, so we don't have time for nuance.
I might make her
Bismuth
further
is so
away.
funny. I don't know. Same joke twice?
Well, it'll be really funny if she does it a third time.
With a rampaging tank being driven by someone who's never been inside of a tank before, Bismuth rushes into action and absorbs the impact of the incoming missiles in hopes of reducing the damage done to the actual environment. She then heroically jumps in front of Mr. Fryman's new van, grabbing onto it in order for him to get enough time to escape the death trap. Attempting to end the rampage as quickly as possible, Bismuth decides to brutally suplex.
I read this one because Spud in a Cup was talking about it, and she was like, "What do you mean? My wife suplexes a tank in this comic. I need to read this immediately."
It's a hard work, putting an end to its short reign of terror. Greg and Bismuth would spend the following days repairing the damage done to Beat City before Bismuth would be called to Homeworld along with Lapis and Peridot.
Why wasn't this video just about this comic entry? Like, the majority of it. Like, you're not even talking about how the Gems and Greg parent Steven at all in this. You're just going on about a comic about Bismuth. Like, dude, you've completely lost the plot. And you can't even decide if you're for or against what Bismuth is doing. Like, broski, my dude, this is completely incoherent.
As backup by a broken and dehydrated Watermelon Steven.
I mean, I guess she did say, I brought you into this world, I can take you out to the tank. So is that her parenting style?
Greg's parenting style during Steven Universe was formed as a result of his trauma during his childhood. He lied to Steven in order for them to spend more time together during the episode Dear Old Dad. In
one episode, exactly one episode, he pulled some fucking sitcom shenanigans. Like, you keep just going back to that. It's like that. Is that like the only episode with Greg in it you've seen? Like, bro.
Instead of simply asking him to do so because Greg didn't want to become his parents. Nobody is perfect, not even parents, and while I think that it's reasonable for us to be able to criticize bad parenting, I can't in good conscience say that Greg wasn't truly trying to give Steven anything else.
But all you've criticized is, oh, he faked having a broken leg that one time. Like, this has been your entire... Then you went on about a comic about Bismuth that had nothing to do with this. Like, what?
Other than the childhood that he wished he could have gotten himself.
Okay, none of that made any fucking sense. At all? Okay. Alright, let's find another one. Let's see. Let's look at the most recent one and see maybe if he's improved. See, Record Sugar's broken punishment system. Is this gonna be about the diamonds being Nazis or something?
I feel like overall, Steven Universe actually did a great job teaching us about the value of communication, but...
Onion's dad?
I'm sorry, could you please repeat that?
I can't hear you!
Yeah.
Okay, if you were gonna use a SpongeBob clip, you should have used the I can't understand your accent. Come on now.
One really compelling theory states that Onion and his stepfather Yellowtail are simply speaking in a foreign language that's only coming across as being gibberish because of the fact that
it's not a foreign language, it's just a gag. It's just a gag that they both speak in talk. There is no other purpose to it. It's just a gag. Bro.
the show is presented to us from Steven's perspective. Don't get me wrong, this isn't a bad theory by any means, and it does seem to fit a few puzzle pieces together nicely, but it still doesn't explain Onion and Yellowtail's other lingeringly weird character trait.
What does this have to do with the title of the video, though? What is anything?
What? If you don't mind, I have a theory of my—
Like, Onion is a walking shitpost. That is his purpose as a character. I mean, come on.
That does explain where Onion and his stepfather truly come from. Backed by 4 huge pieces of evidence, of course. Exhibit A, Vidalia is actually a type of onion, a fact that we can't ignore. Exhibit B, Onion can—
Yeah, her name's Vidalia, and her kids are named Onion and Sour Cream. Just like the family that makes pizza has the last name Pizza. And the family that makes burgers and fries has the last name Fryman. It's a joke. It's a joke, my dude.
Canonically has a birth tape, meaning that we can safely rule out any headcanons that he's some kind of gem hybrid like Steven. Exhibit C, sentient plant life created by Steven have been shown to evolve and branch off from their original form unnaturally fast, proven by there being an entire watermelon-based civilization and watermelon sharks all within a few months. Exhibit D, Yellowtail, Onion, and the watermelon Stevens all communicate in the exact same way. Additionally, Vidalia and—
Yeah, dude, that's the joke, because it's Zach Callison doing both the onion meh, 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 and the watermelon meh, meh, mehs. It's just a gag, dude. It's just a gag. It doesn't have any meaning. It's just there to be funny. The show can be very silly sometimes. Like, you know, the whole country only having 37 states, and there being durian juice boxes. It's just little gags that they do. It just for flavor. You know?
Sour Cream have both been shown to be able to understand this mysterious language, which leads me to conclude that, similarly to how Steven accidentally sparked the creation of a watermelon civilization, I'm thinking that Rose Quartz accidentally sparked the creation of the Onion Rose civilization, which over the course of thousands of years evolved into a few of the characters living in Beat City that we've known since the beginning of the series.
What does this have to do with the title? Do you make these with AI or something? What the fuck is going on? What? I guess maybe he really is just spamming these videos for clicks, but like... What? It's time to stop!
It will not only explain why Onion and Yellowtail act so incredibly weird, but it would also explain why they share the exact same voice actor as the Pebbles on a Homeworld and the Watermelon Stevens on Earth. That voice actor being none other than Zach Callison, also known as being the voice actor for Steven himself.
Almost like they had this kid on set who could do funny meh 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 voices, and they worked it into the show. Because he's the star and he was a kid and he was like the team baby. What? This is hurting my brain. Like, not even because it's wrong, just because, like, bro, what are you talking about? He's playing Danganronpa music. Close the stream. We're not getting anything decent out of this channel, says Denmark for $5. Thank you. I really wish my super chat readout was working. I'll have to Try to fix that for next time, now that I fixed the fucking internet. I'm not okay. This is causing me, like, brain damage. Like, well, I don't think the voice is AI. It doesn't sound like an AI voice, but, like, dude, are you just, like, AI editing these videos and just, did you write your scripts in Chat GPT? What does this have to do with punishment?
It's because the watermelon Stevens, the pebbles, and onion are literally all related to Steven.
Hey, that's pretty good.
We can debate the plausibility of my theory in the comments section, but for now, getting back on track to the topic at hand. Why was
I'm gonna debate it right here and now, bro, because what the fuck does this have to do with the title?
communication more valued than discipline on Steven Universe? I mean, children never got punished for their bad behaviors on the show, at least not when it would actually be beneficial.
Even got grounded from television for 1,000 years. What are you talking about?
Priceless.
Oh my.
There are some things money can't buy.
Steven himself was.
I really hate your editing. If you didn't have those stupid little interstitials, you'd never make it to 10 minutes. That's why you're doing it, just to pad out the video, aren't you?
Practically begging Greg to enforce some law and order into his life when he crashed the van. But Onion was arguably in an even worse position.
Okay, so now you understand that scene where Greg says, "I'm proud of you," but Steven was looking for discipline. So now you understand that scene in this video, but you didn't understand it in the last one. Dude.
Both of his parents let him do basically anything that he wanted to without any repercussions, leading to him breaking into buildings and engaging in a barrage of other questionable activities.
Yeah, bro, he's just a shitpost. He's just a shitpost character, except that one episode where they tried to give him a backstory with his friend group, and that's definitely one of my skips. That's the one I skip all the time.
But would you be shocked to find out that Onion's worst offense wasn't actually featured on the show? Created by Rebecca Sugar herself, Steven Universe issue number 22 reviewed the results of
Bro, okay, let's look at the comic cover and see if Rebecca Sugar actually wrote this. No, it was written by Grace Kraft, so... Rebecca, again, created by Rebecca Sugar, is referring to Steven Universe as a franchise. It does not mean she actually worked on these comics, as you can see by the credits you're showing on screen right now.
Reviewed the results of Yellowtail and Vidalia's incredibly lax parenting style, while also showing us the consequences of his parenting style on Onion's young mind. The comic issue being set after the events of Storm in the Room opens with our boy Steven deep in thought when Amethyst uncharacteristically begins to clean the surrounding area. It's revealed that Amethyst...
I was gonna say, what? Amethyst is actually cleaning? But it's because Vidalia's coming over. Okay, she actually values Vidalia's opinion.
Amethyst was excitedly tidying up the temple in preparation for a visit from Vidalia and Onion. Amethyst explains to Steven that she was hoping this dinner party would help both of them cope with awareness of a recent adventure in space. But before Steven would get the chance to object to Amethyst's logic, Vidalia and Onion would already be standing at their front door, welcoming the Christmas.
Are you forgetting that Amethyst is friends with Vidalia and has been since, like, before Steven was born? Like, that's in the show.
The gems back to Earth, Vidalia brings a painting of Amethyst's new form, and Onion brings...
Oh, hang on, I wanna go see that. Maybe I wanna read these comics because we get more of Vidalia and Amethyst's, like bromance here.
New form, and Onion brings out of Steven created from the pieces of his leftover lunch. So the dinner party begins out of Steve.
Instead of like noodle art, is like potato chips, ketchup, half a donut. That's pretty funny.
Then created from the pieces of his leftover lunch. So the dinner party begins with Amethyst admitting that Pearl was the one who prepared all of her food, but Vidal...
Yeah, thank you for the super chat, Adrian. The artwork he is showing in all these little in-betweens and stealing on the thumbnails is a lot of discount supervillains art, which has nothing to do with what he's talking about. And so far, the entire topic of this video is nothing to do with the title of the video. I am so confused.
Ella would soon find out that Amethyst also decided to add a hint of fire salt to her dish. Hilariously enough, both Vidalia and Onion are revealed to love the taste and side effects of the fire salt, leading to Vidalia asking Amethyst to sprinkle a little bit more over her food. After a night of Amethyst having the time of her life with Vidalia, and Steven struggling to keep a smile on his face while playing video games with Onion, the comic issue would take a dark turn. Amethyst decides to show Vidalia around her room, leading to Onion sneaking inside of a temple for the first time while dragging Steven along with him for the ride. While Amethyst attempts to find the best pile of trash to stick Vidalia's painting into, Steven, being led by Onion's mischievous mind, faceplants off of Amethyst's trampoline. Onion, being in Amethyst's room for no longer than a minute, would decide to dive headfirst into a tiny puddle, leading Steven to reluctantly.
I mean, that completely tracks for Onion. Completely. Is this whole video just like Onion doesn't get punished for mischief when he's just a shitpost character? What is even? Again, like, did you write this with ChatGPT? Well, again, the voice doesn't sound AI generated, but like, huh? Did you use ChatGPT to write these scripts? Because I don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
Chasing after him. Realizing that they mistakenly found themselves in Pearl's room, Steven begs Onion to leave the temple with him. But almost as if being led by a greater purpose, Onion would decide to dive into another pool of water instead. A pool of water that led Onion directly to the burning room. Steven hurried.
I like how she immediately assumes it's just Amethyst sneaking into her room. These comics are pretty accurate, actually.
Directly to the burning room. Steven hurriedly following Onion into the burning room causes him to nearly have a...
Why do you call it the burning room? That's the center of the crystal heart where they just keep all the bubbled gems. Do you think they throw them in the lava or something? Yes, Igor says, sir, this is a Wendy's. Yeah, like, I'm not gonna speed it up either. He already talks fast enough. I'd have trouble like keeping track of what he's saying even more.
A heart attack when he notices that Onion was moments away from releasing one of her bubble gems. In a desperate attempt to keep Onion from endangering the lives of everyone
I could absolutely see this happening in an actual episode, to tell you the truth.
inside of a temple, Steven begs him to stop, and surprisingly, without even thinking, Onion listens to him. We learn that Onion was simply trying to cheer Steven up using the exact same method that he uses to cheer himself up as well, being putting himself in mortal danger. With Steven's approval, Onion climbs up into Rosie's room, leading to the duo finding common ground and genuinely enjoying each other's company for the rest of the evening. Steven and Amethyst, thankful for having one of the most refreshing dinners of their lives, wave goodbye to their guests. Onion using danger to keep...
That whole comic was adorable. It completely tracks with the show. What? I guess the point is going to be Onion doesn't get punished for misbehaving? But he's a shitpost, except for this one terrible episode you're showing right now. That's the episode I don't like the most. If Uncle Grandpa didn't exist.
Himself sane is one thing, but like I mentioned earlier, he wasn't the only victim of lax parenting. Not even close. Created by Rebecca Sugar herself, Steven...
Again, none of the credits are actually Rebecca Sugar. Just the show. She created the franchise. Bro, you completely misunderstand this. Why are you ignoring the actual writer of this comic right here? Grace Craft.
Universe issue number 16 not only showed us the results of passive parenting on the minds of developing teenagers, but it also provided us with more proof as to why Amethyst is the most mature crystal gem. The comic issue being set after the events of Know Your Fusion opens with Steven and Amethyst going to Fish Stew Pizza in order for them to enjoy a pizza-themed breakfast. Jenny, excited to share the music from her favorite band with new people, lets Steven and Amethyst listen to one of their newest songs, causing both of them to instantly become fans. Jenny then further explains that she was planning on going—
Why is the music so sinister when it's like teenagers saying, hey, check out this cool music? What? What is this about? I don't understand. Also, have you forgotten that their dad, Kofi, is a fucking hard ass? He's like the most miserable dude.
Going to the band's house show.
Even his own mother makes fun of him.
That night, before her father Kofi decides to jump into the conversation and reminds Jenny that her hands would be needed to help the business prepare for its busiest day. Jenny, feeling defeated, would get the devious idea of sneaking out of Fish to Peter to attend the party anyway because of Kiki of all people. Steven
Okay, so very normal teenage behavior. Maybe because you're fatherless you wouldn't understand.
worries that if the sisters were caught sneaking out, they'd both get in trouble, but Jenny reassures him that their father was all bark and no bite.
Do you remember how Jenny calls herself the evil twin? That's the point. Kiki's the responsible one and Jenny's kind of a punk.
So, not even the parents who were portrayed as being strict on the show had the willpower to consistently reinforce their own rules.
Okay, we got some super chats coming in all of a sudden. I'm sorry they're not reading out. I'm gonna have to read them. Master Clockwork says, Onion, secretly the most tragic character in SU. Tito the Deer says, imagine teenagers this sinister looking. Ryan Jenkins says, bro is straight up yapping while spamming the soundboard, yeah. Dana Brain says, oh no, the rock music is corrupting the youth. Yeah, but it's like, oh, the parents can't enforce their rules evenly, but like, bro, these are teenagers planning to sneak out against their parents' wishes. That is a completely normal thing. What do you mean?
Later that evening, the rebellious sisters would meet up with Steven and Amethyst, leading all of them to heading out of Beat City and making their way to the house show. With Kiki guiding the group using her phone's navigational system, they'd find themselves literally driving
again, because she's the responsible one and Jenny's kind of the wild child.
In circles for hours, causing all of them to start panicking. Eventually, Kiki's phone would manage to convince the group to travel down a dark and abandoned route, which mysteriously leads them to getting a flat tire soon after. Desperate for them to get out of this dangerous situation in one piece, Jenny quickly comes up with the idea of pushing her car the rest of the way to the party, but they'd soon come to realize
what's with this frying the images is for no good reason at random times. Again, this is why I think this is like AI editing, you know? Like, there's just no cohesion here.
That this wasn't the most realistic idea. Amethyst then attempts to push the car herself while harnessing the power of her purple puma form, but this proves to be just as ineffective as Jenny's plan. As the minutes passing turned into even more hours, the Peter sisters would come to terms with calling their father for help, and Steven would come to terms with calling his father for help, but neither of them would have the luxury of holding onto their phones for much longer.
What the fuck was that editing? Thank you for the super chat, Tika. Finally managed to get to stream. Greetings. My super chats are not reading out right now. I had a lot of technical difficulties before stream, which I fixed, and then now that's broken for some reason. I don't know why. It can't even be related to the original problems I had. It has to be something on Stream Element's side, but the chat's working, so I don't fucking know. Welcome to my life.
A mysterious shadowy figure moving at superhuman speeds leaps out of the bushes and snatches Steven and Kiki's phones, causing the entire group to start fearing for their lives. Steven and Amethyst, having plenty of experience dealing with corrupted gems, prepare themselves for the worst, while Kiki begs Jenny to call Kofi using her phone before the shadowy figure made a—
And you know, this is another one that could have been an actual episode, you know, like the show could have actually explored characters besides Lars and Sadie. It's like how we get a whole highlight episode for Kiki when we barely fucking know her, you know, in the actual show proper. So it's like, I don't know, man.
To call Kofi using her phone before the shadowy figure made another move. Jenny, reasonably being fearful of having another awkward conversation with her father.
Mance thinks he's Mr. Creepypastas, apparently. I don't know, even that guy wouldn't use this many sound effects. But yeah, oh, teenagers tried to sneak out, got in trouble, have to decide to call their parent for help. That is a very normal, like, coming-of-age teenage thing story that you would find in, like, a sitcom or a movie. Like, why is this a problem?
Decides to call Buck and Sour Cream instead, but because of the fact that they were both already at the party, this call would prove to be a complete waste of time. When the shadowy figure sounds an unspeakably loud roar from behind the bushes, Amethyst advises Jenny that there are times when even the fun sisters should take situations seriously, especially when the lives of their loved ones are on the line. Steven and Amethyst form smoky quartz in order for them to gain the physical strength needed to take on their mysterious pursuer. pursuer, while Jenny and Kiki gained the emotional strength needed to call their father for help.
Release Golden Heart Soul says, I have a feeling he didn't watch the show. He just watched Lily's, ER's, and Easy Peasy's videos and read the comics. That and someone take away this man's soundboard. I mean, maybe. I mean, it sure sounds like he didn't really watch the show because he does focus on the comics a lot. That's a little odd. I mean, it wouldn't be a bad thing in general because not a lot of people talk about the comics. So if you just wanted to do a series of videos on the Steven Universe comics, why didn't you just do that? Why the clickbait titles? Why don't you just, like, review the comics if that's what you wanted to do? I don't understand.
In the heightened senses, Smokey Quartz launches their yo-yo into the bushes directly at the pursuer, but this would prove to be a huge mistake. After Smokey Quartz failed to remedy the concerning situation, Jenny and Kiki would contact their father, but instead of scolding his daughters, the thought of losing both of them forever causes Kofi to make his way to their location as soon as possible.
Well, of course, that's what any good parent would do. You know, the kind of parents that say, I don't, like, if you get, like, super drunk or something, please don't try to make your own way home. Call me. I won't punish you if you call me to take you to safety when you are in an issue. You know, those kinds of parents, like, you should do. Your kids should not be afraid to go to you for help. And as much as a hard ass as Kofi is, his daughters are not afraid to go to him for help, and he will support them and be a good parent. I think that's the point here, stupid.
Iron being revealed to be the shadowy figure leads Smokey Quartz to finally being able to let their guard down and breathe a sigh of relief. Jenny and Kiki would be reunited with Steven and Amethyst after mustering up the courage to investigate the bushes, and within a few minutes, all of them would be reunited with Greg and Kofi as well. With help from Amethyst, Greg manages to quickly repair Jenny's car, and after grounding his daughters for a month, Kofi makes sure to let both of them know that he'd be completely fine with letting them attend any and every party that they wanted to from now on.
Okay, so he grounded them, which is punishment, but then he also decided to let up on his own rules a little bit and let his kids have a childhood instead of working at his business all the time. Like, that's a good thing. Like, the child and the parent both learn a lesson and go forward together with a better understanding of each other. How is that bad?
Stand your ground, man. The majority of the youth living in Beach City were born into families that gave them unlimited amounts of freedom. Discipline and punishment are just as important as communication and freedom when it comes to effective parenting.
Yeah, and have you noticed all the other kids in town are raised by single parents? It's almost like they all parallel Steven in a way. Yeah, imagine that.
And the fact that the show made sure to show us some of the horrible side effects of a childhood void of punishment proves that the series at least took this concept into consideration.
The fuck was that even what was even the point? Onion doesn't get punished enough for being a shitpost mischief maker. And then there was a comic about Kiki and Jenny sneaking off to a concert and getting lost and having to call their dad, and then he grounds them, but also with a promise of letting up on them a little bit. That was what we talked about. Oh yeah, Lars is the only one with two parents. Well, Onion has two parents, and I guess Sour Cream does too now, but he was raised by Vidalia for the most part as a single parent. But yeah, a lot of the kids have like, Sadie only has her mom. The Pizzas only have their dad. You know? There's a lot of, like, single-parent families in Beach City. Okay. No, this is what the stream is, guys. This is what the stream is. Yeah, Connie has two parents. She doesn't live in Beach City, though. Connie doesn't live in Beach City. She visits it. But Connie lives somewhere out of Beach City. So I wouldn't call her a Beach City kid, personally. But, yeah. Okay. Well, maybe, if we're gonna shit on Lars, maybe I can get on board with this guy. If we're actually gonna shit on Lars, I can get on board with shitting on Lars. Let's see if you can win me back, Crow Reviewer.
Did you know that one of Garnet's defining characteristics is the fact that she doesn't ask any questions?
Start with the letter N.
Okay, what next?
The letter O.
Cause I didn't, and I've been a fan of the series ever since it began.
You're a fan? Are you sure? Are you sure about that? You didn't never notice she never asks questions? I mean, I think they fucked it up a couple of times. Oh yeah, Mayor Dewey's also a single dad. Yeah. So, and the Fryman's also single dad family. So, wow, lots of single parents in Beach City. Almost like it's a theme or something.
Rebecca Sugar also confirmed that this was completely intentional, while revealing a couple of really cool moments where this character trait was certainly implemented.
What am I?
No more questions.
Should we ask them what's going on?
I can't.
Similarly to how
was a
Pearl
good
wasn't
joke.
able to tell anyone about Pink Diamond's big secret,
No, honey, no. It's not like Pearl. Pearl was like given a diamond order and is physically incapable of talking about Pink Diamond. Garnet just does this. Because Ruby and Sapphire are each other's answer, so Garnet doesn't ask any questions. It's more of a thematic thing. It's not like a hard lore thing, bro. I hate when people do this. Elise Golden Heartsoul says, it's crazy how Onion is the only one with 2 parents and the only one that has a criminal record. No, Lars also has 2 parents. We went over this. But Lars should be in prison for just being a little shithead.
Annette got her ability to ask questions taken away by Pink Diamond as well.
No. No, sir. No, it's just a writing thing, man. You can't, like, I hate when people do this, when they just mistake artistic choices and metaphors in Steven Universe for some hard world building shit. That's just not how the show operates. It operates on fairy tale logic and musical logic and vibes. You know, there isn't a whole lot of hard world building. I had to accept that. Everybody else has to as well.
Alright, I'm done with the Rose Quartz slander. We did get clarification from Rebecca Sugar that Garnet formed a pact with Rose instead of her literally losing.
Okay, she didn't even like form a pact with her. She just was influenced by Rose's words. I guess she did call it a pact, but yeah, it's not like she's physically incapable of asking questions the same way Pearl is physically incapable of talking about Pink Diamond.
Garnet formed a pact with Rose instead of her literally losing the ability to ask questions.
You really think someone would do that? Just go on the internet and tell lies?
It's not
Stop
like making up
stealing
rumors
art.
about Rose Quartz. It's going to do much to hurt her reputation at this point anyway.
She's gone!
Unless, what if when Spinel hit Steven with a rejuvenator, she actually reset his gemstone to the point of Pink Diamond's consciousness being fully reawakened?
Well, in future we saw that isn't true, so...
This would explain why Steven only began to unlock his mother's destructive powers after the events of the movie.
No, it's because of his emotions, bro, because we also see in future that the other Diamond's powers change with their mindset and their feelings about the world. So, like, Pink Diamond had destructive powers, but after she became Rose Quartz, they turned into healing powers because her mindset was different. Just like Yellow Diamond's powers changed to being able to stabilize the form of gems instead of destabilizing them. Blue's powers changed to being able to make people happy instead of making them cry. And White's powers changed to people being able to control her instead of her controlling other people. Like, they did a switcheroo. It was an opposite day time. I mean, it's pretty, like, the show leaves a lot up to you to infer. It doesn't outright tell you these things, but it's like they're in your face. I mean...
Because Pink Diamond was trying to regain control over her body and wipe out all of her greatest enemies like Jasper and White Diamond.
Jasper wouldn't be one of Pink Diamond's enemies. If Pink Diamond popped out of Steven's gem and stood before her, Jasper would bow to her immediately.
This is where this video would have gone if I didn't change my mindset on Pink Diamond. She surprisingly became one of my favorite characters on the entire show well after it ended. Yeah, the 25-year-old brain patch is real and it does wonders, let me tell you.
You know,
Okay, well, where are you going with this then?
I'm starting to think
Pink Diamond became so troubled by the fact that she permanently scarred Pink Pearl's face that she began to develop her healing powers while simultaneously suppressing her destructive ones.
Okay, you fucking
Bismuth and
understand
Peridot
that, yeah.
were also given phenomenally recent redemption arcs, having their problematic views slowly being changed over time. But having less than half of a show's redemption arcs actually being good doesn't exactly spark joy, and a lot of you seem to
And now he's playing Death Note music, which is distracting me a lot.
agree with me on that. This gets even worse when you realize the shocking fact that most of the characters that have wronged Steven on the show never actually apologizes to him.
I'm sorry!
We don't do that here.
This doesn't even just apply to our boy Steven either. Apologies in general have come in extremely short supply on Steven Universe. Lapis never
Almost like the show is about a bunch of people who can't communicate very well, and that's what causes most of the conflicts. You know, how the show is about how communication will resolve most problems, and for more mundane problems children will encounter in their own lives. That whole thing about how the show operates on a logical and metaphorical level, that, you know, that.
makes right with Peridot for destroying the ban among her other offenses before her redemption arc.
You're really here.
Hey.
What a sick joke!
Lars never makes right with Ronaldo for siding
Oh no, my connection is dipping again. God fucking damn it. Why is this still happening? I'm going to have to talk to my ISP if this keeps up. Let me try to connect to one of my Wi-Fi settings just in case. We were doing so well. You're tearing me apart, Crow reviewer. Alright, let me just get back on the Wi-Fi real quick and see if that maybe helps. Helped a little bit. This might have to be a short stream today, though, if this keeps up. No, it's doing it again. I don't know what is causing this problem, unfortunately. We're dropping some frames, but it's not too bad. Okay. Okay. I might end up dropping... Okay, it's coming back up again. You better behave. You better behave, internet. I swear to fucking Christ. No, now it's dipping again! Oh my god. I already restarted the entire network. What do you want from me? Okay, now it's back up again. You gonna behave? You gonna fucking behave? No, it's not. Now it's going back down again. As soon as I say it, of course. Computer knows I'm yelling at it. Alright, okay. 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 It seems to be alright now. I'll leave the Wi-Fi on for now, just in case. Okay, let's go.
his bullies before his redemption arc.
Whoa. What happened?
And you're supposed to be dead.
I got better?
And the diamonds never make right with anyone for being the diamonds. Before whatever the ending of Change Your Mind was supposed to be, it definitely wasn't a redemption arc, I can guarantee.
Yeah, it wasn't a redemption arc, stupid. They got into White Diamond's head and changed her mind. The metaphor is the most on-the-nose fucking shit. Why do people not understand it? White Diamond was always in her own head, not listening to anyone else. Like, the metaphor could not be more obvious. And now it's fucking dipping again. Jesus Christ. Let me live my life, internet! Ah! I might not stream Dragon Age tonight. I probably won't stream Dragon Age tonight. If I play, I'll just do side quests, but this is getting infuriating. I might have to contact Cox Communications if this doesn't stop happening. Like, I'm on the Ethernet. The Ethernet should be flawless. Okay, it's popping back up again. This is so irritating. Now it's like really high again.
Into you that.
And if Pink hurt you, it was because I hurt her.
Yeah, did you miss the point of that scene? Is like, I do love that scene though, because like when they all see Steven has transformed, immediately Blue and Yellow are giving like sincere regrets, and then Spinel and White come in and start kind of making it all about themselves. Which I always found pretty funny. Spinell's a little bit like each of the diamonds in a way.
Thanks, Captain Obvious.
We might as well settle this debate about Lars's past right now while we're on the subject.
Good. Maybe we could shit on Lars. If you might redeem yourself if you shit all over Lars. We'll see, Crow Reviewer.
Say that if you knew what other people say about you!
Are the cool kids even capable of being Ronaldo's bullies when you consider the undeniable fact that they were usually portrayed as being chill people? This is the question that has divided our—
Okay, we're gonna have to watch this one next to figure out what the fuck you're talking about. The cool kids don't bully Ronaldo, only Lars does. Like, the point of the cool kids is that they're actually cool. Like, they're cool in the sense that they're chill and they're nice people. They're not like the stereotypical mean, preppy, popular kids you might expect them to be from a group called the cool kids. That's the subversion, dude. Steven Universe is always very quietly subverting tropes in ways you might not even notice.
Our community. Subscribe to join the Night Owls, by the way.
Now stealing more discount supervillain art. What?
Here's the
I ain't fucking subscribing to you, bro. Not with these incoherent fucking videos.
truth. Despite the fact that the cool kids were definitely chill and laid back most of the time, they've also all been shown to happily indulge in other toxic activities like gossiping, which can be considered to be a form of bullying in itself.
Like,
This shirt is the funniest thing I've seen in my life.
Okay, everyone loved the Guitar Dad shirts. They were popular. How is that gossip? What? I thought you were gonna show Jenny, like, saying Mr. Universe was hanging out with his little friend when she was referring to Ruby when they were looking for her.
How's this?
So bad.
Your work is so naive. You really love your dad. It's funny.
You're all sick.
That was all from the same fucking... That was all from Shirt Club. Where the thing was, Steven printed his silly Guitar Dad drawing on shirts and they became popular. And then at the very end of that episode, there's a Simpsons-like joke where Steven commits a political assassination with a t-shirt gun. And it's great. The connection is dipping again. No, why? Why, internet, why? Somebody sacrifice a goat in my name to make this stop. We're not dropping that many frames, though. It tells me I'm dropping 0.9% frames, so that's not too bad. It's better than fucking last night. I'm sure that Dragon Age stream is very choppy in places.
Sick in the head.
Buck, Jenny, and Sour Cream all ruthlessly bullied Steven during the episode Shirt Club for loving his father. And then they all bullied his father for...
Yeah, but they're not... it wasn't really bullying. They just thought that the shirt was a funny meme, basically. Like, Buck saying, oh, you're so naive because you love your dad. Like, Buck was also having issues with his dad in that episode that he resolved by the end of them. Like Buck was, like, struggling with that whole teenage thing of trying to separate yourself from your parents and acting like you're too cool for them. So I think he was actually a little jealous of Steven. And then by the end of it, he, like... Hi, Anthony. Can you fix my internet, Anthony? Please use your superior mind beams to fix my fucking internet. I've tried everything. I keep getting dips, but it's not as bad as last night. Is the political assassination with the t-shirt gun a reference to Rose framing Pink Diamond's death? Maybe. There's a lot of parallels to that.
Existing. Also, this is Lars we're talking about here. Other than the cool kids, whichever group of characters on the show has last been shown to value the opinion of?
Hey, check out my shirt.
Oh,
yeah.
That snake is nasty.
Oh, yeah, I hate snakes. They don't have any arms.
I'd love to read all of your thoughts on this debate, but for now, getting back on track to the topic at hand, it's so bizarre that Pink Diamond literally ended up being the only member of the Great Diamond Authority that was given an actual redemption arc. But I felt like we never really had a positive Rose Quartz moment after Steven...
It was almost like Steven Universe isn't about redemption arcs, and it's about communication and accepting the flaws of other people and accepting other perspectives.
Decided to investigate her past. Well, not on the show anyway. Written by Rebecca Sugar herself, Steven Universe...
Written by Grace Craft! Again, dude. Created by Rebecca Sugar is just referring to the franchise. You can see who actually wrote these fucking comics right here. You have it on screen. You had to look at this picture to put it in your video, I hope, unless you are using AI editing.
This issue number 24 not only revealed the truth behind one of the most important locations on the entire series, but being survived between letters to Lars and Can't Go Back, it also canonically became the last time that we'd ever see Rose Quartz in a positive light. The comic issue starts off with Pearl mopping the kitchen counter.
Ew! Okay, and again, like, if you just wanted to make videos about the comics, make videos about the comics. What is with these broken whatever titles, man? Is it just to be provocative? To get clicks? Because these videos are not very good. Just on a technical and like, just performance. I didn't mean performance. I mean presentation, I suppose. Just on a technical and presentation. Okay, I think I'm back. It's dipping again, but I turned off the Wi-Fi and just went back to the Ethernet. Why is this happening? I hate this so much. Anthony, you were supposed to fix my internet, not break it. This is your fault. Anyway, he says Yuri and Victor show up at a Steven Universe comic, which is fucking cool. Please sacrifice this forsaken child for my internet, please. God, I'm suffering. Anthony came in here and murdered me. Alright, shot back up after I turned off the Wi-Fi. So, Igor's gave me funds for my own personal satellite. Yeah, I fucking need it at this point. Looking at more stolen discount supervillain art right now, it's good.
When she notices that Steven was looking troubled while flipping through Buddy's book, hoping that Pearl would be able to navigate through the mysterious pages of the book better than himself, Steven explains to her that he was planning on surprising Connie by taking her to a new gem-related location, in order for them to celebrate her recent achievements at school. Pearl naturally agrees to help Steven, but gets hit with a massive wave of nostalgia after recognizing one of the entries within Buddy's book. Pearl recalls the beautiful moment that she introduced Rose Quartz to the Lunar Blossom Garden.
Now this art is very nice. Some of the art in the comics can be good. Like I was saying before, I had once looked up Boom Studios saying, oh, maybe I could go work on official Steven Universe comics. And then I saw that they only pay like 20 bucks a page. And I was like, yeah, no, no. That's why a lot of the art is kind of like very hastily done, I imagine.
The exact same garden that the duo would—
And you're right, the AI video is stealing my ping. Yeah, definitely, that's it.
Would find Garnet stumbling around in when Ruby and Sapphire fuse for the second time. Steven, more than happy with the idea of taking Connie to the location that he learned about from Garnet's stories, decides to warp to the Lunar Blossom Garden with Pearl in advance to ensure that the area was still in order. Steven and Pearl would be greatly disappointed, however, after discovering the brutal fact that the entire garden became overgrown and disheveled a long time ago.
Well, yeah, it was like thousands of fucking years ago. Of course that would happen.
Later that day, Steven confides in Garnet and Amethyst about the state of the Lunar Blossom Garden, causing all of them to warp to the mythical location in hopes of figuring out if there truly wasn't any way of saving the environment. Garnet, surveying the area, figures out that if they were able to carefully destroy the invasive species of vines that began growing over all of the lunar blossoms, they'd be able to restore the garden back to its former glory.
This is just a knockoff of Rose's Fountain, though. This is a little weaker as far as the comics go so far.
Steven and Amethyst, excited at the idea of saving the garden for Connie and Pearl respectively, instantly leads them both into deciding to wage war against the vines. Amethyst springs into action first, but when she begins to—
Yeah, well, this is me every fucking springtime having to rip down the bittersweet in my yard, so I relate to this.
Practically snap all of the vines using her whip, Garnet reminds her that if they weren't gentle, there wouldn't be a garden worth traveling to at all. After several hours of hard work, the team successfully managed to remove every single vine that was laced around the garden, but realizes that none of the lunar blossoms were blooming because the trees overhead also grew much taller over time. Garnet, using a rocket fist, and Steven and Amethyst following her lead, causes them to swiftly destroy a few of the branches that were keeping the glow of the moonlight out of reach from the area, resulting in the complete restoration of the lunar blossom garden. Steven, unable to contain his excitement any longer, rushes over to Connie's house that night in order for him to sneak her over to the temple. Garnet and Amethyst, convincing Pearl that it'd be a great idea for all of them to tag along with Steven and Connie, causes the entire team to create a plethora of new memories that they'd never forget. Pearl, grateful for her caring teammates, decides to thank each of them personally.
Okay, so like they accompanied the children to a faraway location like responsible adults. So this contradicts your bad parenting video. What does this have to do with redemption? Any of this? Why can't you ever stay on the topic of your titles? Just make videos about the comics. Just make videos about the comics. That would have been so much better.
Personally. And Steven, thankful for having Connie by his side after the fight that happened earlier on in the season, congratulates her on her recent achievements at school before deciding to show his affection by placing a Lunar Blossom flower in her hair. Settling into the enchanting atmosphere of a Lunar Blossom garden, Amethyst decides to place a couple of Lunar Blossoms in Pearl's hair as well, just like Rose did for her all of those years ago. Pearl, making sure that Garnet and Amethyst weren't left out of the loop, lovingly decides to place a crown of Lunar Blossoms on top of both of their heads. Steven Universe was an incredibly unique show that made the—
What did that have to do with anything? You just summarized the comic. What was even the point? Well, he could probably make much more popular videos if he would just focus on the comics and reviewing them, because like I said, not a lot of people talk about them, but he just randomly brings up comics that have nothing to do with his stated topic in the middle of these videos, and I don't understand what the goal here is.
The decision to redeem the vast majority of its most heinous antagonists. And while I still think that it's normal for us to morally question this creative decision, it's also worth remembering that Rebecca
why are you acting like this point follows from the comic you just described? It doesn't. What the hell?
Sugas made it clear on several occasions that the show was created to teach children about the value of acceptance, compromise, and forgiveness. And in that regard, it's safe to say that the series definitely managed to accomplish it.
Yeah, you know how none of those things are redemption? You see how none of those things are redemption? You know, none of those words you said are redemption at all?
Its goals.
What happened? What's that video even supposed to be about? Why do you keep stealing Discount Supervillain's art? Oh, God. Let's see if this... Again, it's just about the comics. You could have just made videos about the comics. Okay, this one's like a fucking 2 hours long. We're not watching this whole damn thing. I just wanted to watch the shorter ones. What? This one also going to be about a comic? Actually, maybe we should watch this one next, because he referenced this in one of the other ones. And what the fuck is this title, bro? With Steven with a flower in his hair and his jacket half off. What the fuck? What are you doing? I need an adult. My connection is dipping again. I need fucking Geek Squad or something out here. What the fuck?
Lars and Sadie didn't deserve the redemption arcs. Don't get me wrong, I loved watching both of them grow and develop. Rebecca Sugar also confirmed on her podcast that Lassie's resurrection was something that was planned from the start, and that's—
Yeah, I know, because it's very clear that they just wanted to shove Lars becoming a space pirate into the show no matter what, even though we didn't fucking have time for it in season 5, and it makes me angry.
Great, but I can't appreciate Lassie's future when he never attempts to repair the long-lasting damage that he caused to Ronaldo in the past.
Ugh, that social napalm?
Ronaldo, not Sadie, who he treated like complete shit all the time and she had to work with him?
Was Ronaldo's best friend while growing up. He was more specifically hinted at being Ronaldo's only friend back during season 1. Lars, of course, betrayed Ronaldo and sided with his bullies, forcing Ronaldo to grow up alone while contributing to making his life a living hell.
Do you relate to Ronaldo, Crow Reviewer? Do you relate to the 2000s cringe weeb Ronaldo, Crow Reviewer? Do you? I mean, I like Ronaldo, but I think it's a generational thing. I can recognize Ronaldo as a... I can't even say his name right. I can recognize Ronaldo as a send-up of the kind of spurgy, annoying weebs myself and probably most of the Crooniverse were in, like, 2003 or so. So, he is a weeb right out of 2003, right down to the Trilby and the Silk Dragon shirts and shit. It's definitely the crew making fun of themselves. Ronaldo. That's how I see him anyway.
Say that if you knew what other people say about you!
None of this ever gets resolved as you'd expect. Lars never apologizes to Ronaldo, and to make matters worse, he
They're fucking adults now, and that happened when they were little kids, and we know that, like, Lars is very hung up on how he is perceived by other people, even though he's a fucking asshole, and it should change that.
He gets rewarded for all of this. It's definitely a very unique situation. I mean, I'm not the biggest fan of Ronaldo myself. If I had to choose to watch an episode featuring a Beat City resident, he would not be at the top of my list. And I bet most of you—
Yeah, well, Crashing Tides is a fucking hysterical episode. The whole episode is just Ronaldo making a shitty YouTube video. It's amazing. I love jokes about the internet by people who actually understand the internet.
would agree with me on that. But here's the thing though, that isn't Ronaldo's fault. We've gotten plenty of proof that Ronaldo had the potential to be a really compelling and layered character, but only when the writers wanted him to be.
No, bro, he is a send-up of the type of annoying weebs a lot of the people working on the show were when they were in their teens and 20s. That is what he is. He's a comic relief character. He was never gonna be taken seriously. What are you talking about? Do you kin Ronaldo, Crow Reviewer? Do you kin him? I'm just gonna picture Ronaldo as what you look like from now on.
Get down a notch.
By the end of Steven Universe, Ronaldo truly became one of the most hated cartoon characters.
I will say though, Horror Club is my top for Townie episodes. Horror Club is what I consider the best human episode of the show. If every human in Townie episode was like Horror Club and Restaurant Wars, I wouldn't have as many complaints about them. A lot of the Townie episodes are just kind of undercooked and they focus way too fucking much on Lars and Sadie.
Of all time, and by the end of Steven Universe Future, everyone practically forgot that the guy existed. The writers dropped the ball so hard on Ronaldo's character that Cartoon Network had to straight up lie in order for them to secure a higher—
Well, also, Future had very limited voice actors, if you notice. Like, Stavani didn't even have any speaking lines. They had the voice actors down to a bare minimum, which is probably why Kimberly Brooks was voicing like 12 characters.
viewership on one of the Ronaldo-centric episodes. During its peak, the Steven Universe fandom became one of the strongest communities on the internet, and nothing grabbed our attention more than new upcoming gems and fusions. Cartoon Network tried to weaponize that fact by releasing—
No, he's gonna complain about the Bloodstone thing! No, guys, okay, listen. This may be hard to believe, given I'm so known for being a Steven Universe fan artist and my big video on Lily and everything, but I only got into Steven Universe in 2018, so I wasn't around for any of this advertising bullshit. I've had to hear about this stuff secondhand, so forgive me if I'm not that sympathetic to it. Okay? But yeah, like that whole episode is Ronaldo doing a cultural appropriation and coming up with like the most like edgy sounding gemsona. Like the whole point of Rocknaldo is, no, you don't always have to be that inclusive and accepting, especially when it's a jackass coming into your group pretending like he understands it when he really doesn't and just materially cannot possibly be part of that demographic. You know, it's cultural appropriation.
Cryptic image of a gemstone on their official Twitter account page while teasing fans with a caption, "If you can guess the gem, you can guess who you're going to meet tomorrow night on a brand new Steven Universe."
Okay, listen, so, okay, fine. The Cartoon Network Twitter used this as a bait and switch. That doesn't mean it was the intent of the show, my bro. You know?
Cartoon Network was trying to promote the season 4 episode Rocknaldo, an episode in which Ronaldo temporarily becomes a crystal gem. This was without a doubt one of Steven Universe's most pointless episodes. I mean, none of the characters—
I disagree entirely. The episode is absolutely fucking hysterical. Yes, he's a tourist, Seraphel. That's exactly it. It's like, yeah, that's how I interpret Rocknaldo anyway. Gatekeeping is okay sometimes. You don't need to leave the gate wide open so people who don't even understand you can just say they're part of your demographic or group. You don't have a group if there isn't a little bit of gatekeeping. You have to define the parameters of a demographic or a group in order for it to even exist in the first place, and some people are going to fall outside of those parameters. So it was Ronaldo coming in, declaring himself a crystal gem, and talking down to Steven about what being a crystal gem actually is and just making up a bunch of bullshit. You've run into people like that in your own life, I'm sure. I have. So, yeah, it's Ronaldo is a tourist and does a cultural appropriation, and it's fucking hysterical.
Learn anything, and there wasn't really a lesson for the audience other than don't be offensive.
No, the lesson was gatekeeping is okay sometimes. Steven was being way too generous to Ronaldo.
They hate men?
Once Ronaldo becomes a crystal gem during the episode, Steven asks him to come up with a gemstone name that would best describe his personality, and Ronaldo of course comes up with the name Bloodstone. While I still very much consider Ronaldo to be one of the show's most pointless episodes, it does have a couple of genuinely really funny jokes.
Is that love? Is that acceptance?
The truth is that the way that Ronaldo is
See, this is what I mean. It's about tourists. It's about people like trying to appropriate your group who do not understand it, you know?
During this episode proves just how little the writers cared about keeping him consistent. In Ronaldo's mind, the Rock People and the Crystal Gems were two separate factions, except it would be impossible for him to come to this conclusion, because he never met Peridot, Lapis Lazuli, or Jack.
Yeah, dipshit, he's a stupid conspiracy theorist who happens to be right about some things and foreshadows some things. It's a joke. That's the comedy.
Jasper up until this point in the show. Jasper should be the only gem really being considered here too, since Peridot hasn't ever summoned a gem weapon and Lapis Lazuli's water wings aren't exactly weapons.
Dude, you are overthinking this. I'm currently drawing a Steven Universe fan comic on screen right now, and I am telling you that you are overthinking this.
They can summon weapons from the mud dimension.
Either way, he never met any of them, and even more confusingly, he's seen the crystal gem summoning weapons firsthand plenty of times. Here's the thing, Ronaldo slowly fading into being a comedic relief background character would have been fine if his tragic backstory intertwined.
What do you mean slowly? He was always a comic relief character. Just because you had one heartfelt moment in his and Lars's past doesn't mean he's not a comic relief character. He tries to feed Lars to the house immediately after that.
Finding his destiny with Lars and Sadie didn't exist, but it does. The episode also featured one of the strongest corrupted crystal gems that we've ever seen on the show, a gem that the fandom refers to as White Topaz. We know that White Topaz was a crystal gem because she was stuck within the very walls of Beat City's lighthouse, and Homeworld didn't know the location.
I mean, that's not necessarily true. A lot of the corrupted gems could also be Homeworld gems. The diamonds didn't discriminate. If you didn't get off the planet, you got hit by the diamond blast, unless you were Rose, Pearl, and Garnet. And Amethyst, who was in the ground, though there is a bit of a plot hole there, because I think Peridot says Amethyst emerged 500 years after the other quartzes, so if the war lasted for 1,000 years, how the fuck is Amethyst not corrupted? But maybe the war itself did not last 1,000 years. I think when Pearl says she fought 1,000-year war, she's counting from the time the colony started to the time the war ended, which I think the war could have been just a couple of centuries or something. I don't know. The whole fucking war timeline is kind of wibbly wobbly. But trust me, I have tried to piece together lore for this fucking series. Horror Movie Club was a reference to Monster House. It probably was. That whole episode is so good, though. I love the joke when Sadie asks, like, is the movie gonna be too scary for Steven? And then it hard cuts to him hiding behind the couch. We deserve Armageddon for the making of this video. You are correct.
Of a crystal gem's main base, until they force Lapis to show them the way in the season 1 penultimate episode. Anyway, the episode in question that did all of this damage to Ronaldo's character while also being his best episode was the show's Halloween special titled Horror Club. I mean, the episode was released in the middle of February.
I would say his best episode is probably Little Graduation, because he's finally, like, not a pain in the ass for once in his life.
Yeah, but it had to have been made as a Halloween special. It's literally the only season 1 episode with jumps.
Yeah, gee, Cartoon Network, like, airing Steven Universe in a stupid way. Imagine. It's not like they put the show at a 6:30 a.m. time slot to die or anything.
Yes. Horror Club opens with Steven going to the Big Donut to pick up Sadie in order for them to travel to Ronaldo's party at the lighthouse. Lars tags along with them after he finds out that Sadie was serious about going to Ronaldo's party. Ronaldo simply wanted to have a relaxing night hanging out with his friends.
Yeah, almost like Lars wants to control Sadie's friendships and treats her like shit. I've never liked Lars and Sadie's relationship. Even my first watch, I was like, show, why are you trying to make me care about this fuckboy and this girl with low self-esteem that's too good for him? I love the episode with cooking and food most. I think that's Restaurant Wars. And Mystic Blue, the reason I love Restaurant Wars is because I live in a beach town and I have seen that sort of shit go down between local diners. I have seen that sort of shit happen. It's like, the other guy in the plaza is making my main thing. Now we have to bring it up with the landlord and have a fight about it. Like, that happens. That absolutely happens, and it cracks me up.
But Lars being Lars, bullies and undermines Ronaldo at every possible turn. The only reason that Lars even came in the first place was to keep tabs on Sadie and make sure that she didn't get any closer with Ronaldo. And when Sadie did finally start to flirt with Ronaldo, Lars bullied and undermined him harder.
If you wanted to help.
Lars goes so far that Steven himself calls him out on his behavior and insults him.
You can stop being such a dink to Ronaldo.
Lars then desperately tries.
Yeah, dink. That's what he meant. If only Steven could have replaced one letter in that word.
To manipulate Sadie into leaving the lighthouse with him, and even she turns against him. Eventually, with the help of our girl White Topaz, we're shown exactly what happened between Lars and Ronaldo that made them grow apart. Basically, Lars ripped apart one of Ronaldo's pictures because he didn't want anyone to see him getting decked by White Topaz's gem-powered hijinks, which is understandable. Except that Lars proceeded to destroy what little confidence that Ronaldo had left before deciding to run away. At the end of the episode, Ronaldo apologizes to Lars, and this doesn't surprise me in the slightest because while I love Steven Universe,
On another video, you said nobody apologizes to anybody, so...
the show has always had a habit of getting the victim to apologize to the abuser. Kevin was such a creep. The guy continued to hit on Stefani even though he knew they were basically what equates to two kids in a trench coat.
You hold two.
What? Adrian says Sadie X Ronaldo, maybe? Maybe. Anyway, the dog is barking and I do need to feed the animals, so I'm gonna BRB real quick. Got some salted seaweed for myself while I was up, and damn, it's good. Glad I got this. Nom nom nom. Yes, I will just eat seaweed. Leave me alone. I live on the ocean, as I mentioned. Yeah, I mean, the fandom likes to joke that Kevin is like the most irredeemable character. I mean, it's a joke. You know, but still. Alright, let's back up, because he could quickly switch topics to Kevin. I need to... Yes, we have nice quiet music right now with the real-life Oppenheimer talking about the nuclear bomb in the background. Welcome to my streams, everyone. I probably won't stream Veilguard tonight just because of all these fucking problems I'm having with the connection, but it's good. I got art to work on anyway. It's fine. I'm a siren somehow. I know people tell me they like my voice. I have no idea why, but siren, yes.
Victim to apologize to the abuser. Kevin was such a creep. The guy continued to hit on Stevoni even though he knew they were basically what equates to 2 kids in a trench coat.
Your whole 2 kids in a beautiful trench coat routine won't fool me this time.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
He was just, like, being dismissive and sarcastic there. That wasn't do you think that's flirting? Do you think he was negging Stevani? Is that what you do when you meet an attractive individual?
I mean, the Croniverse tried to negate some of Kevin's creepiness by letting the fandom know that Stevoni was canonically a 28-year-old, but Kevin didn't know that. This information...
Well, I don't think I don't know how canonical that is. I mean, somebody might have said that in an interview, but that's not, like, a thing they say in the show, really. Just Dan said, honestly, shamelessly eating just seaweed is base. No, it's seaweed snack. So I mean, it's like salted and crispy. What? Seaweed's good. Damn it. Well, I always deny I'm a voice actor, but I guess I'm kind of being pushed into it. I got tagged. Somebody was looking for someone to dub Olivia's stuff on Twitter today, and somebody else tagged me in with one of my shorts. So, yeah.
Information isn't ever given to us on the show, and even if it was, it still doesn't make Kevin's actions feel any less out of place. This situation gets...
Okay, I've said this before. I too think the first Stevani episode is pretty weird, and I don't think they accomplished what they were trying to do with it. I think the execution is very poor, and it just kind of comes across as like, look how hot everyone finds this non-binary person. It's a little odd, a little strange, especially when it's 2 kids in a trench coat. Just don't think you really nailed that one. People try to tell me, well, it's supposed to be like when you hit puberty and people start looking at you differently. It's like, well, I've had boobs since I was 10, so I absolutely know that experience, and I don't read that from that episode. So, what can I say?
It's even stranger when you realize that Kevin only appears during 3 episodes in the show, yet he gets a low-key pretty decent arc. Kevin is a surprisingly complicated character, and I can't wait to dissect him down to the bone with you guys, but first, if you're...
Do you relate to Kevin too, secretly? I mean...
If you're enjoying this video so far, be sure to subscribe to the channel. Help your boy move out of this box.
Yeah, I was assigned voice actor by the internet. I was assigned a lot of things by the internet. I never wanted to become a YouTuber, but here I am.
Thank you.
This is where the traffic is. This is also where the traffic is. There's traffic here too.
Kevin was introduced in the season 1 episode Alone Together. He was originally a pseudo-antagonist for Stevoni, the breaking point and nailing the coffin that would ultimately lead to their unraveling. At the beginning of the episode, Steven and Connie were hanging out with each other on the beach. The crystal gems were teaching Steven how to fuse earlier that day but took a break, coming to the conclusion that there would be a chance that Steven wouldn't be able to fuse at all, considering the fact that he's a half-human hybrid. These revelations stuck with Steven throughout the rest of the day, and he pours his heart out to Connie about the situation. Connie, seeing an opportunity to relate to and comfort Steven, lets him know that he's lucky to even have a chance to openly dance with his family, because she herself never had the chance to dance in front of anyone. Steven, like the little gentleman that he is, takes the lead and asks Connie to dance with him, and she accepts. Steven and Connie dance with each other for a little bit until they gracefully fuse, forming Stevoni for the first time. Stevoni, of course, starts geeking out at the very existence and rushes to the crystal gem so that Garnet could join in with them.
Damien assigned me as a VA. Well, how did Damien assign me as a VA? I have no chance now. So, I will say about AJ, what's-her-face, who voices Stevoni, like, the way she is able to sound like a blend of both characters perfectly, and even, like, has both their laughs down, that is some fucking amazing voice acting.
Side note, Amethyst was the one who came up with Stevoni's name.
Steven? Connie? Stevoni?
I just wanted to give you guys more proof as to why she's the best crystal gem. Garnet lets Stevoni know that they should celebrate themselves and explore Beach City as a fusion. Stevoni decides to take Garnet's advice and they get into all kinds of hijinks, but Steven and Connie eventually starts breaking down within Stevoni outside of a big donut. They keep it together long enough to get invited to a rave later that night. Stevoni excitedly goes, but it doesn't go according to plan. Steven and Connie start feeling deeply alone, even though they were together the entire time inside of Stevoni's mind. In the midst of Stevoni's second breakdown, a mysterious figure emerges, metaphorically invading Stevoni's mind. We would later learn that this mysterious figure had a name, Kevin. Kevin at this point in the episode, without knowing the...
Never trust anybody named Kevin. Unless it's Call Me Kevin. He's the only good one.
important context behind Stevoni starts flirting with them. Kevin was always meant to be the yin to Stevoni's yang. It's apparent in his identical skin tone and clothing colors. He was introduced to be that creepy guy at parties that marks on
I don't know if that's purposeful or not, to be honest.
all of the ladies. Kevin was introduced to make Stevoni and by extension us the audience feel uncomfortable, and he was effective at it. Stevoni unravels, but Steven and Connie, being physically reunited, joyfully dance with each other in front of everybody, enjoying every single second of it. Kevin instinctively backs down, proving himself to be a stand-up guy who wouldn't say anything inappropriate to a bunch of 7th graders. Kevin would later return in the episode Beat City.
I would think that would be the base expectation, yes.
Rift, seemingly with his memory wiped, because he goes right back to reason.
Your cat's name is Kevin? That's an amazing name for a cat. Please tell me it's an orange tabby named Kevin, because that would be perfect.
Stevoni. Steven and Connie decide to go out and raise Kevin in an effort to prove to him that he didn't affect their relationship. And Kevin just gets worse and worse as the episode went on.
I know you want to be close, but this is a little clingy.
Amethyst, I blame you for this.
Stevoni would of course lose the race because this was their first time driving a car. Kevin would later invite Steven and Connie separately to his party in the episode fittingly titled
I would think maybe letting the children without a license drag race is maybe the bigger issue in that episode, but okay.
Kevin Party, where he reveals one of his most private secrets. Kevin used to be in love with a girl named Sabina, a girl who the fandom soon figured out was none other than Mystery Girl. The question...
I don't think anybody figured that out, it's just she also has a name that starts with S, and that's a headcanon. I don't know if that was the intent, though. You can't just assume that.
Does this reveal make Kevin's behavior with Stevoni feel any less creepy? And the answer for me at least is a resounding no. Most people are indifferent on this topic though.
Man, I don't even have an opinion.
Well, you gotta have an opinion.
Then, to add insult to
What, you cut out the part where he shot Marvin in the face? Come on!
injury, Connie hops on Steven's lion and keeps him for the remainder of this colossally pointless act.
Who's responsible for this unwarranted attack on
Why did I just go with backgrounds? I was like, I can't use a lot of brain power in art right now. This is...
Connie Maheshwaran tore the Steven universe...
attack on my person.
Okay, well, I don't think you need this in the middle of the video, dude. I mean, YouTube's gonna ding you for 30 seconds of music no matter what. It's an automated system. It does it to me all the fucking time.
Connie Maheshwaran tore the Steven Universe fandom apart during the original series' final season, and to this day, I'm still—
You see, random shit like that, though, is what makes me think these are edited with AI somehow, you know? Like, it's just a little strange.
Within the group of fans that strongly believe that Steven shouldn't have been the one to apologize to her. Connie's introduction into Steven Universe was amazing. Before she actually made her debut, the Crewniverse left this really well-placed Easter egg hinting at her in the first episode of the show. We got to see Connie grow and develop as a person alongside Steven as they became best friends with each other.
Huh? Like she's his parallel, the kid with a normal life, you know?
Steven and Connie's dynamic before season 2 is actually a lot deeper than you'd initially think. During the season 1 penultimate episode, as Steven rushes back to Beat City after convincing Greg to let him help the Crystal Gems face off against the incoming threat, he desperately tries reaching Connie.
Come on, pick up.
You've reached the Maheshwarans.
Faced with no other options, Steven records a message for Connie, a decision.
Well, yeah, the whole point was everybody was assuming what he was upset about was everything that happened on Homeworld, and really what he was upset about is Connie wasn't returning his calls.
That he would soon regret. After facing his deadliest mission yet, Steven lets Greg know all of the details of the attack, and of course this freaks him out.
Where's my relaxing music CD?
A few moments later.
Wrong one! Stop!
Dude, you didn't need the few moments later there. You, like, completely, like, just kneecapped the pacing of that joke and made it worse. Stop editing like this!
This causes Steven himself to overreact and push Connie away, which only makes her worry about him even more. So much so that she rushes down to Beat City to attempt to talk to him in person.
See, this is the side touch, though. You will get good advice on how to make YouTube videos from me just, like, critiquing other people's YouTube videos.
Connie eventually convinces Steven to open up to her, and they cry in each other's arms. During this moment, Connie sympathizes with Steven and does an unbelievably great job making him feel heard after nearly losing everything.
Are you okay?
Are you okay?
A few moments later.
You're the one that's been through everything. The least I could do is just listen.
You're the one that's been through everything. The least I could do is just listen.
Yeah, in that instance, Connie wasn't even aware of all that stuff happening, and the thing she's mad at Steven about is, like, purposely martyring himself and letting himself get captured by Homeworld. Like, that's a little more severe, don't you think?
This line encompasses everything that was great about Connie during the earlier seasons. I wonder if she's going to abandon this way of thinking completely later on.
Okay, so you like Lily Orchard and Easy Peasy and ER are acting like Rebecca Sugar wrote every single fucking episode of the show, which is not true.
Connie would later grow even closer to the Crystal Gems by becoming an accomplished sword fighter while undergoing training with Steven and Pearl. Connie and Steven go through so much character development and growth together after this that is genuinely nothing but a treat to watch unfold on screen. They go from learning that there is a correct situation to fuse in episodes like Beat City Drift.
I hate Kevin!
Is that love? Is that acceptance?
To having their first real couple of battles together, which ultimately—
Look, hating people named Kevin is extremely valid.
It leads them to defeating Jasper in a 2-on-1 fight. Well, 1-on-1 because fusion. This leads us to the phenomenal episode titled Mindful Education, an episode where Steven proves that he cares about Connie just as much as she's always cared about him.
It's okay!
No, it's not!
Steven
how is that the episode that proves he cares about her? What? Bro, what show did you watch? Did you just spin around in a circle and lay on your bed upside down to watch this show? I mean...
would soon after have to go into space on an important mission to rescue Greg from the human zoo, entrusting Connie with the task of keeping Beat City safe while he would be away. When Steven returns to Earth in the episode titled The New Crystal Gems, Connie excitedly greets him and stays true to her established values, maintaining her place as one of the most understanding characters on the entire show.
Do you remember how she called Peridot and Lapis superpowered children in that episode? when she was being Steven for a day? Do you remember that? She called them the fuck out, bro. Anyway, we got a couple of super chats. They're unfortunately not firing on Stream Elements today. I don't know why. Lich Queen Lilith said, did he just compare Connie to an ape with the water? Oh, I didn't see that. I was looking down at my drawing. I hope fucking not, bro. Don't do that. The Release Golden Heart Soul says, look, I gotta go. Like his random TikTok editing is driving me to murder. Good night and good luck with this. This isn't Lily, but God, at least Lily only attacks your ears with her voice. Thank you, Golden Heart Soul. I'll see you next stream. I don't blame you. I almost feel like we gotta slow the video down.
Doesn't blame Steven for letting Greg get captured, and she definitely isn't mad at Steven for making the hasty decision to leave Earth as soon as possible with.
Yeah, this was a different situation, bro, and he was with the crystal gems. When he sacrifices himself, it's just his ass getting taken by Topaz and Aquamarine, and of course Lars is there too.
About her. It's all understandable for Connie. In fact, she lets Steven know just how much she missed him and confirms that she protected Big City with Lapis and Peridot.
Sorry we left you behind.
A few moments later.
It's okay. You were really worried about your dad.
Clever girl.
The Jambirds operated as a team even though they were worlds apart from each other, and it seemed like nothing could ever break them apart. That is until season 5 rolled around and decided to demolish years of writing and character development for the most infuriating arc in the entire show.
Which season?
5? I'm angry.
Trash.
I know. Ugh.
No, the most infuriating arc is the end of the trial, where Yellow Diamond says, "You're on our world now." And then Lars and Steven just hang out in a cave and meet a bunch of weirdos, and then Lars dies and Steven goes home. And that's all we see. That's the worst. That's the worst right there. I want to eat my colors. It does look a little bit like sherbet, doesn't it? I'm trying to like do water, but also make it clear that this is like a fusion mind space. The water might start turning green at 1.2 to represent malachite. I'm not sure yet. I'm going to draw plants under here, too. I'm mostly working on the reflections and shading right now, because it's kind of mindless. It's kind of mindless, and like 90% of my brain power is going toward trying to comprehend what the fuck this guy is even talking about.
The explanation of Connie's character starts at the finale of season 4, in the episode titled I Am My Mom. Aquamarine and Topaz ruthlessly invade Beach City in search of a couple of humans requested by Blue Diamond and Yellow Diamond.
Yeah.
The battle against these homo gems eventually leads Steven.
And you miss it because like when Steven is first talking to Peridot when she first shows up, he lists off a bunch of human names, and Peridot reported those back to Homeworld, so eventually they came looking for those humans to try to figure out what the fuck is going on. So yeah, you're really abusing that few moments later joke. You're not even using it right. You need to have that confiscated from you.
And Connie onto Aquamarine.
Oh, and in Lich Queen Lilith again with another super chat, there was a clip where she was drowning, then a meme clip that said something like, underwater, the ape will drown. Oh, brother, ew. Brother, ew. Don't know.
In spaceship. Connie asks Steven to fuse with her, but in the heat of a moment, Steven misses out on the chance to form Stevoni.
Steven, let's fuse.
We don't do that here.
No, almost like they had to knock all the other characters out of the ship in order to justify Steven, like, martyring himself and going to Homeworld alone, okay? Yes, it's a little contrived, okay? All stories are contrived, it's just how well you hide it.
It's down in the middle of a fight, begging Connie to forgive him while blaming himself for the current invasion.
I'm Rose Quartz!
Honestly, guys, right now, I wanna smash everything in my room. I wanna smash absolutely everything in my room.
Steven, in a desperate attempt to keep everyone else safe, gives himself up to Aquamarine and Topaz, revealing himself to be none other than Rose Quartz, leaving everyone else in shock. Steven goes through hell on Homeworld, but through a stroke of luck finds his way back to Earth through Lassie's head. When he gets back to
he claims he's Rose Quartz, because at this time, Steven is not entirely even sure if he is his own person or if he is his mother, like, in a different form with no memories. He has no idea at this point. Like, Steven finding out who he himself is a big part of his arc in the show. I mean, like, not only is he literally in his mother's shadow, but he thinks he might possibly also be his mother reincarnated. So, you know, that's a lot. That's a lot when it comes to, like, finding what your own identity is.
Earth, he tries his best to explain himself to Connie, except this time, she tries her best to make Steven feel bad for giving himself up to Homeworld.
Are you happy to see me too?
A few moments later.
Dude.
Of course I'm happy to see you, Steven.
Bro, I'm straight up not having a good time.
But how could you just give yourself up like that?
Yeah?
Man, I'm gonna break my monitor, I swear.
You're the one that's been through everything. The least I could do is just listen.
Okay, that was season 2. In a completely different situation. And this is season 5, and Steven willingly giving himself up to the enemy. Like, these are two completely different things that happened.
Several months later.
You just gave up.
What are you doing right now, bro?
Then, to add insult to injury, Connie hops on Steven's lion and keeps him for the remainder of this colossally pointless arc.
Keeps him? Dude, cats decide who they belong to, and Lion decided he's Connie's cat now.
Why is Lion just going along with Connie here? What happened to the moment that Lion and Steven...
Because he's a cat, he decided this is his favorite owner now, and then now he's Connie's. Cats be like that, bro.
Even shared in the previous episode when Steven found out the truth about Lion.
Oh, Lion.
A few moments later.
Strange how it just...
Lion has never listened to him. Like, it's like when he like put him in a parking spot and said, "Oh, it'll be fine." And then as soon as they walked away, Lion wandered off. You know, Lion has never listened to him.
Comes and goes.
After Connie rides off into the moonlight with Steven's lion, she proceeds to ghost him for the next 5 episodes, causing Steven even more unnecessary trauma after having to revive Lars on Homeward and being put on trial. It gets even worse, because the next time that Steven finally gets the chance to talk to Connie at Kevin's party, she explodes on him.
Woman has independent feelings and doesn't just support the male lead this bad. Is basically what you're telling me here.
And lets him know just how much he let her down again.
I'm angry.
A few moments later.
I miss you.
A few.
I feel like I'm out of my mind.
Will you stop fucking padding out your goddamn videos with these stupid little meme cuts that don't even make any sense?
Yes! No, you're not.
Hey, who's responsible for this unwarranted attack on my person?
It gets so bad that Steven felt that he had no other choice but to apologize to Connie. It's important to remember that the only reason that Connie was so angry in the first place, the reason that she felt...
Well, I mean, she's supposed to be his knight, his protector. You know how Pearl was training her for that? And the clip you keep showing from what's the episode after Jailbreak called? Fuck. I should know this. Full disclosure. Yeah, so you're showing the clip in Full Disclosure before she had her sword training. And now you're saying, oh, but by season 5, after she's had her sword training and is kind of an honorary crystal gem, now she's like, Steven, you shouldn't sacrifice yourself? Well, yeah. Dude. Like, she wasn't even around for Peridot's ship. He left her a fucking voicemail, remember?
So betrayed was because she thought Stevoni could have defeated Aquamarine and Topaz.
Yeah.
Let's fuse!
A few moments later.
Yeah, they tried to escape and all the other characters got left outside the ship, and then Steven said, I will martyr myself because he has a martyr complex and always fucking has.
It's okay. I'm not mad.
Really?
I'm serious!
Connie was completely in the wrong here, and because of her newly developed ego, she lost sight of a simple fact that future—
Her ego! Her ego! Girl has assertive opinion toward boy main character, and suddenly she has an ego. Okay, bro. Okay, bro. Sure. I bet you hate Skylar White too, don't you?
doesn't solve everything, a lesson that she already learned, by the way. And sometimes all you can do is just listen to your friend and be there for them when they need you the most.
I can't ask you to do that.
A few moments later.
I want to be a part of your universe.
Again, completely different fucking situation in season 2! Come on, dude!
It's just the way it is. I'm just a messenger.
Steven Universe had an oddly satisfying ending. I find myself loving it more and more every time I rewatch it. I even think...
Didn't you say whatever the fuck change your mind is in another... Again, did you write these with ChatGPT and you're just mindlessly reading them without even thinking about it? Like, you contradict yourself from video to video, and then your videos have nothing to do with the title, and you're just all over the place. At least you're not talking about the comics in this one, but Jesus!
But Steven Universe features entire arc, which is basically addressing the very real trauma that Steven had to go through as a kid, was handled decently well. My biggest problem with Steven Universe Future and the original show is the undeniable wasted potential during some of the series' biggest arcs.
Okay, I definitely agree with that. Steven Universe definitely has a lot of wasted potential, and I always say its biggest problem is just lack of prioritization. It's like how they prioritize their Blorbos, Sadie, and Lars over the other townies, you know, and sometimes prioritize that over, like, main plot shit. So, yeah, obviously, Steven Universe's writing is very flawed, and I have never said it isn't. But...
Beginnings and endings of both series are perfectly fine in concept, but the main reason why so many people like myself felt disappointed with them at the time is because the path that the writers chose to take us there wasn't great, and I want to break down where they went wrong. But first, if you're enjoying this...
Well, also, like, fans had a lot of expectations that might not have been really supported by what the show was actually doing. Because, again, a lot of people try to focus on, like, hard world building in Steven Universe when that doesn't really exist here. The gem stuff is a vehicle for allegory. It is not meant to be taken as like hard sci-fi world building. It just isn't. Like, again, I have combed over the lore for this series working on my AU. I had to come to accept that, and I'm gonna make you all accept it now too.
Video so far, be sure to subscribe. It would help me out a lot. Thank you. Bluebird Azurite.
No, I am not subscribing, but you are at least getting my YouTube premium click every time I watch one of your videos, so you're at least getting something out of this, sir.
I was talking about Bluebird Azurite.
Okay, listen, Bluebird is actually one of my favorite episodes of Future. I completely agree it could be cut, but I love this episode. I think it's fucking hysterical.
In my previous Steven Universe video for being the only on-screen villain that didn't forgive Steven and change their ways, but that was in context to me trying to disprove the possibility of Steven having mind-controlling abilities. Bluebird was introduced to brilliantly teach the audience that there are some people out there that can't be changed no matter how hard you try to help them. Unfortunately, besides that, Bluebird Azurite was a disappointing mess for several reasons.
Oh bro, the whole episode is just throwing shade at the hatedom and the show itself. It's making fun of both the SU Crit hatedom and the show. Because Steven does go on like a sappy speech to try to like convince them that Fusion could be about love and about friendship. And they both go, oh my god, he's so annoying! Like, that's the joke! It's a very lampshady episode, and it's funny.
For starters, the only reason that Bluebird didn't forgive Steven was because Eyeball and Aquamarine felt hurt when he stole their glory away. They were convinced that Steven...
Well, yeah, they were two... They're like Jasper. They were two homeworld diehards that flourished under the system. So, of course, when that system's taken away and they lose their rank and prestige, they're like, well, what the fuck, bro?
Somehow tricked Homeworld into liking him, and this doesn't work because Aquamarine wasn't portrayed as being this dumb in the original show. Aquamarine...
Are you sure? Are you sure, though? I mean, all gems are a little naive. That's just how they are. Like, just in their nature, because they're born to only ever be one thing and are only ever that one thing, so they're not used to developing more as people or developing emotions. They only start learning that when they interact with the Earth. And that's the whole point. It's about aliens learning humanity. That's a theme humans love to write about a lot. Robots becoming human, angels and spirits becoming human, aliens learning to be human. We're a very narcissistic species.
Was a calculated badass, the kind of antagonist who would threaten to crush skulls if she didn't get what she wanted. Even with Steven's new powers, Aquamarine could have easily beaten Steven and...
Yeah, but she was also walking around looking for a person named My Dad, so is she that smart?
Crystal gems without even breaking a sweat if they didn't nerf her by taking away her wand. In doing research for this video,
Yeah, the wand was homeworld weaponry, so it wasn't her gem weapon. It's not a part of her. It's homeworld weaponry, and, you know, given that Yellow Diamond disbanded the armies, I would think they either took away or destroyed the weaponry, wouldn't they? Yeah? Of course she wouldn't have it anymore. What are you talking about?
I found an explanation for the clear lack of wand action that went on in Steven Universe Future. The Steven Universe wiki says that non-summon gem
You wanted wand action in this series? Phrasing.
weapons were outlawed during Era 3, and because of this, Homeworld personally took
Well, yeah, that's just what I just said! All the armies got disbanded, so why would they still have gem weapons just willy-nilly lying around for anybody to pick up?
wand away from her. I'm going to pretend like this is canon for the sake of this video, even though I couldn't find the source of this claim on.
Well, because again, it's something you just infer. She doesn't have her wand anymore. They shut down the armies. You can infer that's why she doesn't have it anymore. Like, again, Steven Universe actually, like, trusts you to be able to put things together without having them blatantly told to you. And it's a children's show, and even children can understand this. I don't get the way people approach this show. I really don't. This just confuses me.
The show in any interviews or in the release books, but it most likely is official information. You're telling me that Homo just took away her wand. I just don't understand why they would do that. The whole point of Aquamarine's wand was to act like an extension of herself. She kept it perfectly calm.
Yeah, she used it to fucking freeze people in place. You maybe don't want someone using that, like, without permission or... You know, it's literally what Unleash the Light is about. Oh, really? I've only ever played the third one, so maybe I need to play all of them, but I did like the third one a lot. It plays a lot like Mario RPG. It's fucking cool.
Camouflage in her hair. Why didn't Aquamarine just hide her wand inside of a gemstone and make her escape away from Homeworld?
Okay, look, we're not actually sure if gems beside pearls can store stuff in their gems. That's always been pretty unclear. Because we've seen Garnet, like, summon her glasses and stuff. But it doesn't seem like, except for Spinel, it doesn't seem like gems beside pearls can actually store stuff in their gems. It's a little odd, you know? But again, the gem lore isn't really hard world building. It never has been. You can't treat it like that or you'll drive yourself fucking crazy.
She was going to rebel against them anyway and go after Steven. The wand is basically just a pocket version of Homeworld's limb enhancers, so I guess we have no choice but to assume that Homeworld took those away from underdeveloped gems too. Let's be real.
Okay, well, they only ever gave gems limb enhancers to basically put them up to code for what they're supposed to look like. But... I mean, I would imagine gems can still use limb enhancers if they want to. Why would there be any... Why would there be any rule against that? What are you... What region of your ass are you pulling this out of?
The idea of non-summon gem weapons being outlawed all of a sudden is just a dumb excuse to give the crystal gems a fighting chance against Aquamarine, so let's just move on. Bluebird Azurite also fails as a character because they...
But also, the episode is a fucking meta shitpost, bro. I mean, it's making fun of the show and the anti-fandom at the same time.
They appeared once during Steven Universe Future, and they weren't even the highlight of their own episode. Steven and Greg's powerful dynamic were. Then there's the cluster, a massive gem consisting of a large amount of gem shards.
Okay, so you went from Steven Universe Future to the cluster all of a sudden, but you didn't even say what you thought was wrong with Bluebird. Just that she didn't get a lot of screen time and Aquamarine didn't have her wand anymore. What about the falchion they summon? That was pretty gnarly.
Harvested from various fallen gems that took part in the Gem War. The cluster was name dropped since Jailbreak during the Season 1 finale, and we got a proper explanation of the cluster during the Season 2 episode Back to the Ban, when Peridot revealed that it was created to destroy the Earth. This was weirdly one of the series' slowest arcs, despite having some of the highest stakes.
Why are they just sitting?
Well, okay, destroy the Earth, but also, like, trying to make gem shards useful again. That was the whole point of all of Yellow Diamond's, like, force fusion experiments, was trying to take gem shards and make them usable again, because they can't make gems the same way they used to without Pink Diamond. You know, so that, but Yellow, of course, didn't care if it destroyed the Earth because she's pissed off at the entire planet for Pink Diamond dying, as far as she knows. So, let's just see where he's going with this.
They're looking at nothing.
A few moments later.
Stop
We
it!
worked hard and we deserve to take it easy for a little bit.
I mean, Peridot and the Crystal...
Well, yeah, that's why he's saying that's why they're sitting around. They were working on the drill, you dumb fuck.
Gems finished the drill and just danced around the bound for a couple of episodes doing nothing. Here's the thing, I fully understand why they did this. Season 2 was meant to be set up for the incredible amount of payoff that we'd later get during Season 3. But that doesn't mean that it wasn't jarring to see Peridot trying to convince the Crystal Gems that stopping the cluster from blowing up the Earth should be the #1 priority.
Almost like it's a children's show, and the point was you should take a break sometimes and enjoy life instead of working hard toward an important issue. Like, even if the issue is crisis and important, you still need to take a break in order to be in top form. It's almost like this is a children's show, bro, and you're overthinking it.
Working hard is important, but feeling good is important too.
Get sketchy.
Thanks for watching. Leave a like if you've enjoyed the video and let me know if you agree with...
Like, he just said what I said there. Like, it was like literally the fucking whole theme of Dungeon Meshi. You need to take breaks to be productive. This guy hurts my head in a different way than Lily. This has to be ChatGPT scripts. There's just no way. It's just all over the fucking place. Alright, let's see what he says about Fusion. Maybe he can stay on topic in this one. Okay. Here we go. I'm clicking on it. I'm scared, but I'm clicking on it.
After cross-gem fusion was outlawed by Homeworld, every gem in existence wanted to try it out.
Okay, what do you mean after? I think it was never allowed. Because fusion was seen as a utility for, like, the warrior gem, so of course quartzes would only fuse with quartzes to make a bigger quartz, and rubies would only fuse with rubies to make a bigger ruby. So when you have two gems of a different type fusing, it's unpredictable, which, you know, Gem Society doesn't like unpredictability, clearly. 5 seconds in and I'm already complaining, dude, you're giving Lily a run for her money. Krusty Krabby says, I sadly couldn't watch SU all that much. By the time I could watch it, I didn't care about TV anymore and was mostly into gaming. Plus, its weird scheduling conflicts kind of made me not want to. Well, you can watch it on Hulu now, apparently, Krusty Krabby. So, that's pretty good. I have the entire series on iTunes myself, so I can watch it anytime I want.
For themselves. Every single one of them.
Fusion is just a cheap tactic to make weak gems stronger.
That's the problem.
What? Okay, yeah, they're again. What?
With you fusions, sooner or later, you will become sentimental.
Is that it?
Just a second.
So this is what Homeworld thinks of fusion.
Cross-gem fusion was basically called out as being a huge no-no by the Diamonds because it promoted chaos within a society where everyone was literally made to fit into their own predetermined roles.
Whoa. What's that?
Full disclosure, fusion has had multiple different interpretations on the show in itself. For some characters, fusion was a way of acting on their romantic feelings for one another. For others, it was only a means to an end. And according to a decent portion of the fandom, fusion was the Gems' version of doing the deed.
One word.
Nah, well, yeah, but you're gonna argue against that? Hopefully, because... Yeah, I always say though, they did not do themselves any favors with the first fusions with these sort of provocative dances they had the gems do. You know, you kind of shot yourselves in the foot with that one, Crooniverse.
Sex. Fusion in all forms of the word is just that. Sex between gems.
Who had been saying that? Who said that? Who said that? Who said that?
Yeah,
now, in the defense of fans with this headcanon, every time that the gems fuse on the show, they dance. Very provocatively, for no other reason other than the fact that they want to.
When we synchronize our forms, we can combine into a powerful fusion gem named Opal.
Nope, gems can also fuse by hugging, standing on top of each other, and just by making the slightest bit of contact. So that just raises the question, why do the crystal gems dance to fuse if they don't need?
Well, because in moments of high emotion, they could be in sync enough to fuse. The dancing is just a warm-up if you know, if they're doing it purposely, but a lot of accidental fusions happen because they just happen to be in sync with each other in that moment, and they end up fusing. Like, that makes sense.
Well, I don't know, but I think I found a way for us to find out the answer.
That's right, we're gonna cheat.
The general consensus within the fandom is that the Crystal Gems developed fusion dancing on their own as a means of differentiating themselves from Homeworld, which makes sense.
I wouldn't, well, no, because the rubies kind of do like a cheerleader stack when they fuse, so it's still kind of like synchronization is required in some form of, you know.
One of the first things that we learned about Rose Quartz was the fact that her absolute favorite hobbies were singing and dancing, and leading Pearl on, but this is not the video for that. Circling back to our original discussion of gem fusion representing something more adult. The dark implications behind this headcanon makes the arc where Pearl tricks Garnet into fusing with her over and over again much worse, and I really don't like it.
It's just so much fun being sardonyx with you.
God damn, girl. Remember that during this arc, Pearl was still deeply troubled about losing Rose Quartz, so it would make perfect sense that this was her way of dealing with the fusion aspect of her trauma. And that's not me justifying Pearl's actions, because she was definitely in the wrong. But I just don't think that the writers intended to teach kids about one of the darkest lessons out there when they set out to write this arc.
No, we just needed a reason to fuse.
This is low even for you!
Now, one of the actually most disappointing aspects of fusion on Steven Universe was the way that the series chose to handle their fight scenes. The vast majority of the battles featuring fusions on the show were given some of the most bland choreography that I've ever seen, and worst of all,
I wouldn't say the choreography is bad, but I would say that fusions are underutilized in this show. But unfortunately, as much as some of us would like it to be, Steven Universe is not a battle anime. It just isn't. You know, even I kind of wish it was a little bit more of a battle anime sometimes, I'm not gonna lie.
They never felt like we were watching the characters fighting at their fullest potential. We all know what these characters are capable of individually, so why do they seemingly get weaker when they fuse?
I can't wait to tear you gems apart!
What do you mean?
All talk.
Okay, dude, Malachite was a 2-gem fusion versus a 3-gem fusion. And she got defeated by, you know, getting struck through with an arrow, and it does seem like if you disrupt a gem's form that heavily, they will poof. So I would assume that goes for fusions as well. Denmark for $5 says, Amethyst diving into Granite's crotch will forever haunt SU fans. It's the best argument people like Lorch have for fusion is just doing it. I'm not gonna lie, I love that though.
No action.
Ironically, one of the best fusion fight scenes went down.
Oh, you're right, Nautilus. My mistake. And Alexandrite is a 4-gem fusion, actually, because Ruby and Sapphire, obviously, yes.
In the series' official run of comics, created by Rebecca Sugar herself.
No, now we're talking about the fucking comics again. No, why? They don't matter. Just make videos about the comics if you want to make videos about the comics.
Steven Universe issue number 18.
And again, not written by Rebecca Sugar, written by Grace Craft, right there in the fucking image you're showing, you dumb shit, so... Not written by her!
Number 18 not only blessed us with a rematch between Steven and Amethyst, but we also got an all-out epic battle between Stevoni and Opal at...
Oh, that actually sounds pretty fucking fun.
None other than the Sky Arena. The comic issue opens inside of the temple with Amethyst making one of her most elaborate sandwiches yet, when Steven and Connie excitedly get ready to enter the—
Wait, what does she have on there? Hang on, I wanna look at this. Hang on. Hold up. That's right, I can do the scrubbing like this. So she's got, it looks like she's got, oh, fuck your TikTok editing. She's got a couple of eggs, a carrot, some cucumbers, a whole chicken leg, a corn dog, some cheese slices, some lettuce and like 3 slices of bread here, and maybe a sausage is maybe what that is, or a burger patty. fucking based Amethyst.
Immediately get ready to enter the next stage of their training with Pearl. Amethyst surprisingly gets invited to tag along with the group by Pearl herself, and she reluctantly accepts. After everyone warps to the Sky Arena, Pearl lets Amethyst know that she planned on teaching Steven and Connie alongside her this time. Because of her incredible success in helping both of them progress so quickly during the Jasper Beach City attack and the first Smoky Quartz incident, Pearl decides to give Connie a private lesson, allowing Amethyst to do the same with Steven. But once Amethyst realizes that she didn't really have any lessons to teach Steven, she instead opts to have another one-on-one fight with him. Amethyst opens with a classic spin dash attack, but Steven, ready to handle her trick this time, dodges every attempt from her to steamroll him. Amethyst, noticing just how ineffective her ground attacks became against Steven, leaps into the air while summoning two weapons, whipping Steven with her first one, leading to him blocking it with his shield and grabbing his leg with the other. Steven thinking,
okay, it sounds like you did also really want Steven Universe to be a battle anime, bro. I feel for you, I do, I sympathize, but it just isn't, and it never will be, and it never was meant to be, unfortunately. And he's just he's just summarizing the comic. What does this have to fucking do with anything, bro?
Fast summons his bubble, a move that instantly saves him from being at the mercy of his teacher. This causes Amethyst to congratulate him a little bit too loudly, which disturbs Pearl and Connie's session. After the first round of training, Pearl, losing a little bit of faith in Amethyst's approach, decides to switch partners with her, leading Amethyst—
well, of course she does, because Pearl is always hypercritical of Amethyst. That's a problem.
to opening up to Connie about her clear lack of teaching skills. Connie lets Amethyst know that Pearl gave her books to catch up on during the previous session, and Amethyst actually decides to read them with Connie as part of their training. When Pearl and Steven get back, everyone decides to take a short break, and fascinatingly enough, Pearl opens up to Amethyst about not being sure about her own teaching strategy either. Steven and Connie reassure their teachers that they were both doing a great job, leading Pearl and Amethyst to combining their teaching strategies and challenging their students to an all-out tag team fight.
This is another one that sounds like it would have been a really good, like, actual episode, though.
At the temple, Garnet catching onto the—
yes, Quartzes have a Sonic the Hedgehog spin dash roll move. I blame Ian Jones Cordy. That Mixin' Witch said, just join, what inaccurate info was said. Well, so far he's just summarizing one of the comics, which a lot of these fucking videos turn into, and I'm just like, bro, why didn't you just make videos about the comics? They're not very well explored on YouTube or by the fandom. You could have just made videos on the Steven Universe comics instead of whatever weird bullshit this is.
concerning incoming battle using her future vision, instantly decides to warp to the Sky Arena, preparing to intervene if a tag team match went too far. So the fight begins with Amethyst and Pearl trying to quickly take down their students, but Steven and Connie both successfully block their sneak attacks, or so they thought. Thinking quickly, Steven summons his bubble again, this time around Connie too, dashing across the stadium in order for the duo to recover Connie's sword. Steven and Connie, being overly excited at how great they've been working together in the match so far, leads them to accidentally fusing with each other. Amethyst and Pearl, seeing the perfect opportunity to take their students' training to an even greater level, decide to form Opal, leading to one of my favorite—
yeah, man, I kind of wish this was an actual episode. Yeah, I've been feeling that about a few of these comics. Like, why wasn't this just an actual episode? This is better than a lot of them.
favorite fusion fights in the entire series. Opal aims one of her Omega arrows directly at Stefani and fires at full power, but misses because of Stefani's incredible speed and acrobatic skills.
Bro, if you watch this stream and watch my criticism of you and take nothing else away, just stop editing like this, please, I beg you.
Stefani, now airborne and with no way to dodge any more incoming arrows, gets another Omega arrow fired at her from an extremely focused Opal. A deadly barrage of arrows lands all over the Sky Arena, but Stefani, quickly summoning their shield, blocks all of them that were fleeing their way. After crash landing into the Sky Arena at full speed as a result of blocking Opal's arrows, Stefani sneakily summons a spiky bubble from inside of a massive dust cloud surrounding them, rushing out of it at Opal and landing a perfect blow to the stomach, completely knocking the wind out of her before she was able to fire any more arrows. Opal, being outplayed, admits defeat, leading Garnet to finally reveal
that's smart. Get close in, up close DPS with the range fighter, yes.
herself and congratulating Stefani and their teachers for the amazing training session. The team, satisfied with their newly found knowledge, along with Steven and Connie working up a bit of an appetite, leads all of them to going out for cookie cuts.
You better not have Pro
Can I
E.
tell you guys a secret? While I was doing research for this video, I kind of lost myself for a few days trying to figure out the height of Obsidian, and I still don't know how tall she is.
That's right, we're gonna cheat.
Heights in Steven Universe being accurate, come on now.
Yeah, that was the first thing I tried. Nobody knows how tall Obsidian is. Why does nobody know how
Because they also couldn't decide how tall the fucking mecha was in any part of this fucking scene. I mean, the fight is cool, but that mecha changes size like so much if you actually pay attention.
tall Obsidian is? My search for the truth began where most of our worldviews are shattered, Reddit. I stumbled upon a post claiming that Obsidian was revealed to be approximately 206 feet tall by the Steven Universe wiki.
Bro, does this have to do with your point? Like, you gotta rein in the ADHD a bit here, guy.
Infex, a staff member of the wiki, would soon debunk this postful. Digging deeper, I learned that the only time that we've ever gotten a confirmed height in Steven Universe has been Steven's own height overway in Steven Universe future as a result of his medical report. This gift.
Yeah, actually, fun fact. Because the heights are so much more accurate in the movie and future states that Steven is 5'6", I think. That's basically what I base everyone's heights on when I draw them. Teen Steven being 5'6". That's what I base it all on.
Fans an unconventional yet reliable unit of measurement to finally be able to calculate the heights of our favorite fusions.
And yeah, I would say these all track too. Pearl and Garnet are very tall.
Steven. Sardonyx is 3 Stevens tall. Sugilite, Alexandrite, Blue and Yellow Diamond are all 8 Stevens tall. And Obsidian, well, we don't really know how many Stevens tall she is because for one, Steven is a part of a giant woman. Fusion was always one of the main attractions on Steven Universe, and it worked extremely well to solidify a lot of the relationship.
Okay, what point did you even make there, though? You spent most of this just describing a fight in one of the comics. Just make videos about the comics. You don't have to do this, Crow Reviewer. You don't have to do this. I assure you. You can still improve. You can still salvage this.
Relationships of some of its greatest characters. Who knows, maybe if Rebecca Sugar was actually given more time to work on the show, we could have gotten better handled fight scenes. Or maybe even a canon explanation as to why the Crystal Gems.
I don't think they ever would have focused that much on the fight scenes, to be honest, because they're not what's important. It's just, it was never going to be a battle anime as much as some of us really wanted it to be. Let's see, Mystic Blue says, oh my god, I really am Steven. I'm the same height. Yeah, that's why I made Spinel like 5'5", because Cannon Spinel's like looks like she's like 2 inches shorter than Steven, so mine's slightly taller. So.
Always chose to dance to Fuse even when it wasn't necessary. As it is, Fusion did serve its intended purpose, and while we didn't get to see every gem fuse, the fusions that we did get were all extremely meaningful.
Say anything about them. You spent most of the video just describing one of the comic books. Like, bro, make a point. Please, I'm begging you. You're giving me nothing to work with here. At least we know these videos aren't really worthwhile. I mean, bro he just yaps. He's fluent in Japanese. Doesn't say shit. Oh god. Another comic summary. I mean, you're showing him having shattered Jasper here, but you're probably not even gonna like talk about that. What else is good? We did watch this one, right? I don't even fucking remember. Like, what did the title even have to do with anything? My guy. Another one that just summarizes the comics. Okay, let's watch this one and see where he might go with this.
Did you know that Lapis was the one responsible?
And okay, more stolen discount supervillain art. We just stopped doing that.
Responsible for destroying half of Russia because Homeworld wanted to install the galaxy warp on the planet.
Should she suffer?
I mean, you don't know that it was Lapis. It could be a Lapis that did that. I mean, that is obviously where the galaxy warp is, though. Or it could be the comet that hit the whatever forest in Russia actually destroyed Russia instead. Like, the oceans are higher in Steven Universe if you pay attention to the map. It's like how Florida's an island in Steven Universe. The ocean is higher. California doesn't exist. Hooray!
All right, clap if you think she should suffer.
I mean, I do think Lapis should suffer. I do, so... but...
Trash. I know.
Why wasn't this crucial information given to us on the show, I hear you asking? I'll tell you why. It's because our boy Steven...
Yeah, it wasn't on the show. Who even fucking said that, bro? I have never heard that information in my entire life. I think you just made that up.
...wasn't there to see it.
Why couldn't she just stop the colonization herself?
She tried.
Politically correct diamond, is that it? Yeah, that's what Cody said.
Imagine a world rich with history and law drops just like this.
Well, yeah, she tried, and then the other diamonds always treated her like a silly child that they wouldn't listen to and who didn't know what she was talking about, and who was just being lazy and not wanting to finish her colony. That's what happened.
But the only thing standing in our way of making those exciting new discoveries is a relatively carefree 14-year-old boy. Side note, are we really supposed to believe that Lapis was having so much fun with Steven that she accidentally made the generous 22-hour flight to Russia and then back to the barn without the crystal gems and Greg getting a little...
Yeah, well, the show also says she was able to fly outside of the Milky Way in a week, and that is complete fucking bullshit. They have a lot of problems with how fast Lapis should be able to fly. We've seen that gems can't go faster than the speed of light because they are made of light. There is no fucking way she flew outside of the Milky Way. Fuck you, Steven Universe writers. Fuck you. At least by the movie, they finally figured out what a galaxy is. This is my biggest pet peeve. Honest to God. My friend does the same thing every time we play No Man's Sky. He calls star systems galaxies, and I want to strangle him, and I have a feeling the writers of Steven Universe also didn't know the difference between a star system and a galaxy. Those are very, very different things. There's no goddamn way she flew outside of the Milky Way in a week at sublight speed. There's no fucking way.
Little worried about him? How did this happen? Steven Universe is one of the first Western cartoons to feature a storyline that is only told from the perspective of a main character. And this is the greatest reason for why I believe that Steven Quartz Universe is the perfect protagonist. That's right.
Excuse me, Steven Quartz Cutie Pie DeMayo Diamond Universe. Get it right.
I know how to make positive videos about my favorite shows too.
Finally!
Let's play a game. Which crystal gem hasn't tried to get Steven killed before on purpose? Yeah, Lapis Peridot and Bismuth need no explanation. Pearl was more than happy to watch our boy.
Well, shouldn't this have been in the, like, redemption one? Like, dude, can you just, like, it's like you, out of all these videos, you could mix and match pieces out of them to actually make a coherent video, but you just don't. What is happening?
Fought to his death, and if anyone...
Now, guys, don't make fun of his accent. I have no idea where he's from, but don't make fun of his accent.
If Amethyst attacks landed while she was fighting him, it would have been a wrap. So that just leaves Garnet, the only crystal gem that hasn't tried to get Steven killed. I said on purpose. Garnet and Steven without a doubt.
Okay, that was pretty funny, actually. Mystic Blue says, I go back to what did he say about the show? What did he sigh about the show? Well, I'm sighing about the show right now.
Has some of my favorite interactions on the entire show. That's because instead of portraying Garnet as this bland and robotic parental figure, she was written to be an incredibly dynamic character who also took...
Well, almost like Garnet just kind of acts cool, but she's actually kind of dorky and... doesn't really know what she's doing either.
Steven's advice even when he was a child.
If you just throw enough garnet at a diamond for long enough, it'll cut through it.
That was easy.
Created by Rebecca Sugar herself, Steven Universe issue number...
No, written by Melanie Gilman. My dude, Rebecca Sugar wrote none of these comics. I think she wrote maybe one of them. And that was it. Like, she was not actively working on these. These were outsourced to Kaboom. They were licensed to Kaboom.
Steven Universe issue number 8 told the story of one of Steven and Garnet's most heartwarming adventures. As in, it featured a corrupted gem with the power to sense the heartbeats of all organic life. A corrupted gem that led Steven to discovering one of his family's greatest secrets. The comic issue starts off with Steven and Garnet preparing to
talking about the comic again. What does this have to do with the show?
tackle a cornmates together at the barn, without the use of Garnet's future vision of course, as Lars and Bug get ready to enter the maze along with them. The race begins to find the maze's exit and we're almost immediately shown evidence that something really big has been lurking around the area, but is that...
I like that it's a crop circle. And yes, it probably is All Might there.
All Might?
Do you remember how
probably.
I gave my power to you?
Bunch of weebs write these comics in the show. Come on now.
What I said that day? Eat this! No, not that part.
Steven sneakily uses a mysterious hole in the ground to cheat the entire maze, reaching its ending before anyone else in his group, choosing to spend the rest of the time socializing with a raccoon, moments before it's grabbed and taken underground by a giant monster. Steven, fearing for the long-term safety of his new friend, rushes into action and discovers a secret underground compartment in the hole, leading to him finding his family's...
Look, dude, if you wanted to just summarize the comics with, like, a radio play sound effects, you could have done that. Like, you probably would have made better videos. Oh, now my connection is dipping again. This video is cancer. Oh, we were doing so good for a while there. We were doing so fucking good for a while there. No, why? Why must this be? Okay, it looks like it's recovering. Good. Stay working, connection. What are you doing to me, Cox Communications? I know this is your fault.
His secret underground bunker, which was now being inhabited by a peaceful corrupted lizard gem who was taking care of a local population of raccoons. After being caught back up to the surface by Garnet, Steven decides that it'd be...
I would like this little summary if it wasn't for the constant monster noises in the background, dude. It's a little distracting.
Be smart to not tell her about the weird situation happening in his underground bunker, but tells her anyway once he realizes that she already saw what he did using future vision.
Also,
Steven assures Garnet that the corrupted gem living in the maze is completely harmless and would never do anything to force humans down in the underground bunker against their will. So the corrupted gem living in the maze forces Lars underground against his will, leading Garnet and Steven to venture into the bunker in hopes of saving his life before he gets smothered to death. Without
it's barely doing anything to you, Lars, and you're still fucking complaining. Why are you like this, Lars?
Listening to Steven's objections, Garnet proves the corrupted gem by brutally smashing her face in, causing all of the baby raccoons to run off.
I know, right, Dan? Like, me and you, since we do edit our own videos, are just fucking suffering right now.
In every direction. Steven, unable to get his mind off of the raccoons living without their caretaker, decides to enter the burning room without the other gem's knowledge in hopes of getting the...
Why do you call it the burning room? I'm very confused about that. Do you think that they put the gems in lava and kill them? Why do you call it the burning room? It sounds ominous.
The lizard monster's gemstone, but Garnet gets there first. Steven and Garnet release the corrupted gem back into the DeMayo family bunker, trusting it to look after the baby raccoons once more.
Okay.
You guys remember how awkward last one out of Beat City was?
Well, I mean I mean that's not. They've done that before. They left the centipedals be. They didn't have to bubble them. What does this have to do with Steven being a perfect protagonist, though? Like, you just all you did was summarize a comic plot again. This is so bad. And again, I think this guy could make good videos if he would just focus. Like, pick one of the comics, analyze and summarize the comic and talk about it, and just make that one video. Like, these videos are just so confusing.
The episode clearly would have been structurally better if Steven wasn't in it. This was undeniably written to be—
Okay, you just stole that point from Robo Buddies, or Lily Orchid, who stole it from Robo Buddies, and Robo Buddies doesn't even stand by that statement anymore. So, no, the episode wouldn't be improved without Steven. You're stupid. Mystic Blue says, Sigh, it's from Together Breakfast, sigh. Oh, is it? And Nick Wolf says, with how many sound effects he uses, I almost expect him to sneak in a Tim Allen You might be too young to remember that one.
A Pearl and Amethyst episode with Steven looking in the background of every scene like a creep. Steven Universe issue number 15 being a story where Ruby and
Okay, are you saying he shouldn't have been in this one? Oh, there's a Ruby and Sapphire comic? I love Ruby and Sapphire. I mean, I like Garnet, but I love seeing Ruby and Sapphire too.
Sapphire solve a dangerous dungeon together, as a light parody of a Fireboy and Watergirl series was faced with a similar dilemma of being literally forced to include Steven. That's right, not even the series' official run of comics was freed from the perspective rule, but
yeah, wow, why is the character named Steven Universe the star of Steven Universe? I wonder. I fucking wonder. I think Robo Buddies goes by a different name now, but I can't quite remember what it is.
This story in particular actually managed to pull it off flawlessly. Steven was not only a vital part of Ruby and Sapphire.
Oh my god, look how cutely they're drawn here. I might have to get this comic and steal how they draw Ruby and Sapphire a little bit. They're so cute. Look at them. And this person draws Sapphire's hair really puffy like I do. We're on the same wavelength here.
But it's clear that the entire story in itself wouldn't have worked if Steven wasn't in it. The issue begins with Steven playing one of his new games when
Robo Buddies now goes by Red Van Buskirk, which I will probably also forget immediately again. I'm sorry.
Garnet offers him to go on another mission together. Naturally, Steven agrees and Garnet explains that the mission is to recover two volatile gemstones called the Frozen Fragment and the Scorching Shard. Two gemstones that were both related to the Shooting Star, as in they'd explode if they weren't handled properly.
Oh my god, they actually like brought the Shooting Star back? That was like one of the MacGuffins I always complain about. Like, I always say like season 1 is just full of MacGuffins that sound like the kind of items like a D&D GM would just pull out of his ass on the spot, you know? I really think that was the case. Yeah, Yellow Diamond's like, finish your colony or you won't get dessert, Pink.
Warp into the mission's location, the duo race to the entrance, but Steven beats Garnet there by using his floating powers to give himself an extra boost. Once the duo finally enter the temple securing the gemstones, Garnet reveals that if the red and blue gemstones aren't kept at their preferred temperatures,
so I'm working on my Wolfenite fusion comic, which I still haven't like actually. These are the two color schemes I had come up with before, but I'm still kind of playing with it. My fans, I gave the line art to my fans in my Discord to try their own hand at color schemes, and a lot of them were working a lot of Jasper's corruption marks in. So I think I'm probably going to go in that direction too. But it's definitely going to be something like at least. But so I'm working on literally everything but the parts I need to color for Wolfenite at the moment. So might as well do some background work right now. It's taken me a long time to work on this comic, but I've had like a lot of IRL stuff going on. I've been doing a lot of work for other people, and I've been playing so much Dragon Age Veilguard. I'm trying to beat it on stream. It's taking me so long, and now my internet is dipping again. This is probably why I'm not gonna game stream tonight. I don't know what's happening. Let me turn the Wi-Fi back on to see if I can fix it again. This connection problem is the worst. Okay, it looks like I'm back on YouTube. Okay. Okay. Come on. Get that bitrate back up. Come on, you son of a bitch. This is a terrible problem for a streamer to have. No, it's my internet. It's been doing this even with the Ethernet. I might have... let me live my life! This is why I'm definitely not game streaming tonight. am wondering if it's OBS that's the problem. I might have to run some tests before next Wednesday. If only my butch lesbian powers could solve this. Dudes, I mean, before stream, I had to, like, update Windows, update my GPU. The only other thing I can think it might be is the CPU, because my CPU has been running kind of hot. I'm gonna get some thermal paste. That's my last troubleshooting issue before I go to my fucking ISP about this. My Ethernet has been pretty choppy, too. So I don't know what the fuck is up with that. Okay. Oh, I pop back up, and then I'm back down to the right again. Still dropping a lot of frames. Oh, come on. Okay, I think we might be decent right now. I think we're decent. Or at least doing kind of okay. So, hopefully I can finish this video and one more video, and then I'm ending the stream. And I gotta figure out what the fuck is going on with this. This is driving me fucking crazy. If I have to upgrade my fucking plan, I will. I'll pay for it, just to stop this. Oh god, unfortunately, yeah, you're not gonna get a Veilguard stream tonight, because this is too stressful. I got some stuff to work on anyway. I probably shouldn't be playing video games. If I do play it tonight, I'll do some side quests.
They'd instantly get warped back to their original position even if they're bubbled. Do this enough times and they both explode. Because of this, Garnet decides to unfuse, giving Ruby and Sapphire a chance to keep the gemstones at their preferred temperatures, carefully carrying them outside of the temple and then trying to bubble them. On the count of 3, Ruby and Sapphire grab the scorching shard and the frozen fragment respectively, leaving them with the simple task of taking the gemstones outside to bubble them. Naturally, Ruby and Sapphire end up distracting each other, causing the gemstones to teleport back to their original position.
They're such a fucking corny ass old married couple whenever they're apart. And I love it.
And activating one of the temple's traps. Ruby and Sapphire quickly form Garnet to save Steven from being roasted alive. Steven and Garnet gather their thoughts and attempt to retrieve the 2 gemstones again using the exact same plan.
Oh, sorry, the true Sephiroth. What was your question before my entire fucking internet died again? You might just have to ask again, sorry. The chat's going too fast.
Leading to them getting the exact same results. Except this time, the temple would activate an ice trap instead of a fire one. Steven ingeniously comes up with a plan to be Ruby and Sapphire's guide on their third attempt, ensuring that they wouldn't stop halfway through their mission this time to start flirting with each other. With Steven as the official leader of the mission, the team managed to successfully complete their daunting task, and Ruby and Sapphire celebrate by continuously complimenting each other, this time without having to worry about an ancient temple getting in their way. Garnet reforms once more, and having completed their mission, the team begin to make their way back home.
Priceless. There are some things money can't buy.
If I'm being perfectly honest, Steven kind of started as a brat, but that was by design. One of the coolest behind the scenes aspects of the show by far was the fact that Rebecca Sugar revealed that she actually planned for Rose Quartz to be Pink Diamond before the show even began production. When you—
Well, yeah. Like, the clues are all there. Okay, now while the internet's fucking out, I guess I'll just talk for a bit. I have said before, I got into Steven Universe in 2018, so I get to play Spot the Foreshadowing when I first watched the show, and yeah, the clues were there the entire fucking time. Oh my fucking god. I'm definitely gonna have to contact my fucking ISP about this, because this is ridiculous. My Ethernet cable should not be this choppy.
To learn this, it becomes way more clear why Steven and Pink Diamond are agreed to be the best written characters on the entire show. They're literally 2 sides of the same coin. Steven slowly became a more impatient character as the show went on, and Pink Diamond, having her arc playing out in reverse, became a more patient and loving person.
What does this have to do? What does this have to do with anything? Because, like, they didn't plan why Garnet was a permafusion at first. They didn't know when they started the show why Garnet was a permafusion. They decided it was 2 gems in love later. But they did have the pink diamond twist planned ahead of time. But what the fuck correlation do those 2 things have, bro?
Getting us to fully experience the story of how Steven found out the truth about his mother from his perspective was one of the most impactful moments in cartoon history, and then unpacking the entire journey of how we were able to get to this point in the first place brought the entire series together. Genuinely a masterclass in storytelling. Steven Universe was an amazing show that literally gave us the chance to grow up with its main character. We were forced to view this magical world through his eyes, and now that we have a full picture, I understand that this is something that should definitely be celebrated.
What is that? Okay, listen, bro. Are you writing these? Are you getting these scripts from ChatGPT and just reading them out loud phonetically? That's the only explanation I can think of for why these videos are the way they are. It's happening again. No. Maybe it's my fucking card. Maybe I should just order a new internet card as well. I don't know. This is just driving me fucking crazy. Yeah, I can't tell if this guy is a fan or not. like, these videos are just so strange. Like, I don't get what, like, it's not even very, I guess this got 50k views. I was like, it's not that great clickbait, really. It's not that effective. Okay, my fucking internet is dying again. Let's have time for like another short video maybe, but let's see. It's 40 fucking minutes long now. Okay, I did put this, okay. Well, I think this one is just gonna go over the comic where Stevani goes on a date with Kiki, which is just, I don't care. I don't care. Dangerous relationship, and you're showing Connie and Steven. So I too could watch a whole thing of them, of Ruby and Sapphire just flirting the entire time. I mean, this whole stream is a bit of a shit show. So I guess it's fitting that these videos are too. Okay, it's telling me I have like 3000 kbps, but I'm still in the red dropping frames. I don't know what the fuck is causing this problem. We were doing so good for so long. Again, the only thing I can think of is my fucking CPU is overheating, which will be the next thing I try to fix. So, actually, let me just look at my, my fucking, metrics here real quick. Yeah, my CPU is like hovering around 60 Celsius right now. That's a little high. And like at resting, it's above like 40 Celsius, so that's a bit high. I'm probably gonna redo the thermal paste on my CPU, and maybe that's the fucking problem. Oh, I guess we'll see. Otherwise, I'm gonna have to call my ISP, but I gotta order some stuff anyway, so I'll order some thermal paste when I do that, and hopefully this weekend I can fucking get in there and fix it. So... Well, Tech Mage, I'm pretty sure that I watched Lily's garbage video before I watched Steven Universe. Like, just as background noise. And then I rewatched it after I watched Steven Universe and realized, yeah, it's pretty bullshit. It's pretty bullshit. Yeah, your slop senses are going off. I have my bitrate down to like 1500 and I'm still having problems. Okay, pop back up again. It seems to be my connection more than anything, because I can see my Ethernet having like these fucking peaks and valleys. It's either my ISP or at this point it might be my CPU. I mean, it's only using like 2% of the CPU, but if my CPU is getting a little too hot, that could be contributing to the problem. So again, I'm going to redo the thermal paste on it, because I'm not sure I put enough on when I installed it. So let's try to do one more video while my connection is doing okay. It's 10 minutes. Hopefully we can get through it. This will probably be the last one, though. Yeah, 60 is not terrible for a high load, but this shouldn't be that much of a high load. OBS, so... and even with Clip Studio open, so yeah, it does seem like my, CPU might be getting a little too hot, which could be the problem. Yeah, it's at 60 Celsius right now, so... Well, hovering around there. It's dipping between, like, 55, 60, etc., but, yeah, so I'm gonna order thermal paste when I order some dog shampoo this afternoon, or this evening, so, yeah. Hopefully I'll get that, like, Friday, and I can try to fix this and see if that's the issue. If not, I have no idea what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna have to contact Cox. But, for now... Yeah, I've been playing a lot of Veilguard lately, too, so my CPU might be taking a bit of a load, and like I said, if I don't have enough thermal paste on there, it might be getting a little hot. So I'll probably turn my computer off tonight and give it a break.
Jam buds?
Jam buds.
This is Connie Maheshwaran. Moments after gas.
Please tell me this isn't going to be an I Hate Connie video. I'm gonna lose all faith in you, bro.
Slighting Steven into feeling bad about himself and apologizing to her. Steven Universe was an amazing show, but it definitely had its glaring flaws. Yeah, sometimes the antagonist got redeemed a little too quickly. The series had a really bad habit of rewarding.
Well, that's the thing, SSJ Derp. This is a new Ethernet cable. I went on Ethernet a while ago because I was having issues streaming over Wi-Fi. But, so, I don't think it's the brand new fucking Ethernet cable, but, yeah. I'm sorry, Sephiroth, did you ask your question again? I'm a little distracted by all these fucking Oh, about the Power World server. Yeah, I mean, I have one, but, my friend from Poland has been having trouble connecting to it, and I haven't really been able to figure out what is causing that yet. So, but I have a Power World server for me and my friends. I was thinking of opening it up to the Discord, but I don't know why my friend in Poland can't connect to it, so that's a bit of an issue. So I haven't figured that out yet, unfortunately.
In some of its harshest characters while ignoring some of its most tortured ones. And a decent amount of the series' most important and built-up arcs felt rushed. But I promise you that none of that was as poorly executed and genuinely harmful to its young targeted audience as the romances on Steven Universe. Now, I want to preface this by saying that I'm not a licensed psychiatrist or a relationship expert. That being said, it's been extended.
You don't say. Okay, where are you sourcing this from? Mutual abuse. Many times we speak with survivors of abuse who want to address concerns they have about their own behaviors. They often express that their relationship is mutually abusive, which means both partners are abusive towards one another. As more people learn about relationship abuse and what it is, certain terms and phrases become part of the popular culture. Some people, especially partners who are abusive, use this language to manipulate and gaslight their partner into thinking abuse is happening on both ends. Yes, true. Where are you going with this? Why are you talking about Connie when you're flashing this up on screen? Bro, she's 12.
Extensively documented by actual professionals that a relationship cannot have more than one abuser.
I disagree. It absolutely can. Though I will argue that Lapis and Jasper isn't mutual abuse. I would argue that Lapis is definitely the much more of the aggressor here, and I will stand by that. Even before Jasper was one of my favorite characters, I thought, you know, I mean, Lapis outright fucking says, oh, I liked hurting her. I liked... And Jasper was the one in chains. Jasper was the one who couldn't control the fusion, and Lapis was like, I enjoyed hurting her, and then everyone's like, oh, poor Lapis. No! The super chats are getting through Master Clockwork, but they're not reading out right now, and that's a completely different system that's broken. But yes, Master Clockwork, I too would watch an entire episode of Ruby and Sapphire flirting. And Hit the Diamond is one of my favorite episodes of the show.
Completely understand why this could sound like a controversial mindset to have, but it's the truth. Mutually abusive relationships don't exist.
Okay. I don't think you can make a broad statement like mutually abusive relationships don't exist at all, and only one person can be the abuser, and only one person can be the victim. That is... No. That's not how life works. Also, where the fuck are you getting this? You're not even showing, like, the website you're getting this from. Like...
According to licensed therapists, unhealthy relationships do exist for, and if an unhealthy relationship becomes abusive, then it's allegedly common for victims to lash out aggressively as a defense mechanism. This is of course a very complicated and delicate topic, but it's crucial that we addressed it head on before going any further into our discussion.
Is it crucial that we address this head on talking about this children's show? Is it really though, bro? Is it? Like, is it? Yeah, you're right, I should get a technical difficulty screen. It should just be like a drunk side-chan with the camera, like that one Simpsons joke.
Trust me, we've gone down this road before a couple of times on the channel. During the penultimate episode of Season 4, titled Are You My Dad?, Steven and Connie would come face to face with Aquamarine and Topaz, 3 veteran homeworld gems who were personally sent to Earth by Blue and Yellow Diamond respectively, in order for them to secure a list of humans who were important to the crystal gems, a list that Steven technically gave them himself during Season 1. Connie would get caught by Aquamarine and Tapas after failing to defeat them with Steven. This would be the catalyst for a turn of horribly handled drama later on. During the finale—
Yeah, so we know you don't like Connie for once in her life standing up for herself and saying, Steven, what you did hurt my feelings. Can't have that. Can't have the woman having independent feelings to the male protagonist, can we?
of Season 4, titled I Am My Mom, Steven ingeniously came up with a plan to trick Aquamarine and Tapas into capturing him, after which he managed to free himself along with—
That was a terrible plan!
all of the other humans.
Oh, no, this part wasn't terrible. Martyring himself later was terrible.
During the arc, including Connie. Something that's important to remember here is that our girl Connie has admittedly been training really hard with Garnet and Pearl as Stevoni, because she wanted to be able to fight alongside Steven in events just like this one. But Steven, feeling overwhelmed with the current situation, chokes. After exhausting all of his options, Steven would make the ultimate sacrifice and willingly surrender himself to Homeworld. After he—
And that was bad, and his family is down in the water begging him not to. Do you remember that part?
Revealed to Aquamarine and Topaz that he in fact wielded the gemstone of the infamous war criminal Rose Quartz. Steven would be placed on trial in front of Blue and Yellow Diamond during the first arc of Season 5. However, he would escape the clutches of Homeworld after fighting for his life alongside Lars, who was also—
But there was no guarantee that he would be able to. I mean, obviously he would have. He's the protagonist of a children's show, but you know, as far as his family and Connie knows.
to Homeworld after being recaptured on Aquamarine and Topaz's spaceship. After Steven revives Lars from a fatal injury sustained on Homeworld, he would soon make his way back to Earth through the pocket dimension connected by Lion's mane and Lars's head. When our boy Steven did finally get the chance to discuss everything that he had to go through on Homeworld with Connie though, she acted extremely annoyed and agitated towards him, seemingly out of nowhere.
Seemingly out of nowhere, she thought he was dead! Like, it's a reasonable assumption to make that if he's taken to the enemy planet alone, they might fucking kill him. You know? They can't exactly directly say that in the show, but Connie is upset that not only did he decide to sacrifice himself, he didn't trust her to help him fight together, and she's supposed to be like his partner and his knight, you know? Like, of course she's upset by this, and she's just like, really, the most Connie does here is say, I need some space from you because I have very complicated feelings about what just happened. Like, what?
Connie explained to Steven that he shouldn't have given himself up to Homeworld without putting up a fight. Except he didn't give himself up to Homeworld without putting up a fight. Both Steven and Connie fought as best as they could during their battle against Aquamarine and Topaz. Forming Stevoni during that fight literally wouldn't have changed a thing. If anything, it would have simply made Aquamarine lose her patience again and consider cracking open a couple of human heads. This fallout between Steven and Connie, that would last over 5 episodes mind you, completely fell flat right off the bat, because Connie doesn't have—
Yeah, but those 5 episodes weren't like solely focused on that though. Oh god, there was a story arc.
A reasonable basis to be mad at Steven for giving himself up. Despite all of this being painfully clear to the audience, Connie would ride off with Steven's lion, again for a ridiculously long amount of time, until—
How dare a girl have independent feelings and not just support male main character no matter what he does. How dare she have emotions as a fucking 13-year-old girl.
David meets and make up at Kevin's party. The entire scene was just Steven apologizing to Connie for letting her down because she practically forced him to apologize. Even
after he pops his collar and tries to neg her like Kevin is telling him to do,
while talking to each other that it might have been a little too soon for them to make up. This entire arc was Connie being uncharacteristically manipulative, because Connie was always portrayed as being
manipulative by just wanting space? You're manipulating me from wanting space from me because of your own complicated feelings about an action I did. Dude, I feel sorry for any girlfriends you've had.
Being one of the most level-headed characters on the entire show. In fact, to contrast this bizarre portrayal of Connie even further, during a near-identical scenario between Season 1 and Season 2, she actually comforted Steven instead of trying to make him feel worse.
Again, you are comparing two very different situations with a bunch of character development in between. Dude.
Evony is an
See, this is a point against them being ChatGPT scripts, because he is really upset by this particular point a lot. He has a grudge against Connie for once in her life standing up for herself because Steven upset her. Yeah, the Connie arc wasn't perfect, but people over-exaggerate. You're right, Roxana. It's like again, this feels like the Skylar White phenomenon where woman does not act perfectly makes her worse than male character who has done worse things. Like fucking martyring himself as his family pleads and begs and cries for him not to.
Interesting fusion. Rebecca Sugar confirmed that their age is the combination of Steven and Connie's ages at the time of fusing, which makes sense, and helped a little bit to negate some of the weirdness surrounding Stevoni's existence. Fusion in itself is a fascinating concept. Gems choose to fuse for all sorts of reasons, like to
Why wasn't this in your fusion video? You make good points in the wrong video. I don't understand. This is so absurd. My guy, like I said, if anything, just take my video making advice from this if you watch this, bro. I mean, this is not good.
Increase their strength during a fight, or to complete a task more efficiently. However, it's possible for gems to enter a fusion or be kept inside of a fusion against their will. We've had the misfortune of witnessing what this very scenario looks like firsthand.
Well, I mean, we've only seen that with Malachite, and there's a good number of reasons why that situation was able to happen, I think, just because of who Lapis and Jasper are as people. But yeah.
And plenty of times, with the most infamous occurrence being the controversial birth of Malachite. Lapis Lazuli's dynamic with Jasper isn't fun to deconstruct, because Rebecca Sugar confirmed that their relationship was meant to portray the real-life effects of an abuse victim. Problem is that it's extremely poorly written at best and actually
Well, I mean, it is the real-life effects of an abuse victim in that Lapis wanted to drag someone else down with her into the familiar bad situation she had been in before. So she's trapped herself like she was trapped in the mirror, but now she's got someone with her that she can take all her anger out on. And that is a direct result of her containment in the mirror and how that has traumatized her. I think Lapis could have been a well-written character as a victim of abuse who in turn abuses other people. And they set that up several times, but they just let her slide all the time. Like, her fucking potential character arcs just peter out because they just want her around and they don't want to have to resolve them, it seems.
Dangerous at worst. During the Gem War, Lapis Lazuli was poofed and then her gemstone was forcibly inserted inside of a prison called the Gem Mirror. Lapis would eventually befriend Steven despite the fact that she was still trapped inside of a Gem Mirror, and she would successfully talk him into releasing her after being kept inside of the mirror for thousands of years, only for her to get recaptured by Homeworld and held as an informant against her will to help them locate the crystal gems.
And guess who did that to her? Not Jasper. Peridot took Lapis as an informant. Jasper was just leading the mission. I can imagine that Jasper marched right up to Yellow Diamond and said, I want to go to Earth. I want to beat up Rose Quartz. You know? And Yellow Diamond just went, oh, you're so much like Pink. You go right ahead.
After a heated battle with the crystal gems facing off against Peridot and Jasper, Lapis would heroically trick Jasper into fusing with her and then proceeded to keep Jasper at the bottom of the ocean.
You say heroically just there? Hold up now.
Lapis would heroically trick Jasper into fusing with her.
There ain't nothing heroic about this action, my guy. She could have just punched her with the ocean. She didn't have to do this. That wasn't even one of my better Jasper impressions, thank you. That was too Olivia.
And then proceeded to keep Jasper at the bottom of the ocean against her will for a few months. Before we move forward, there are two very important details that we
Yes, you Space Frog is calling me. That was too Olivia. It's so hard for me to separate my Olivia and Jasper voices now, because they're just the same voice, only one is way down lower and one's way up higher and easier to do.
have to take into account. While it's true that Lapis has gone through a lot during her life, none of what she went through prior to the events of a Season 1 penultimate episode titled The Return was Jasper's fault. Jasper didn't trap Lapis inside of a gem mirror for thousands of years. She wasn't
okay, so we are actually defending Jasper here. Okay, good.
the one who recaptured her on Homeworld, and she didn't.
Oh yeah, Proc. Jasper is absolutely Vegeta. She is 100% Vegeta, you know? She'll come in, she'll talk big, she's ostensibly a good fighter, but she constantly loses her shit and gets her ass kicked, exactly like Vegeta. I love it.
Even choose to bring Lapis back to Earth. Peridot has confirmed that she brought Lapis back to Earth because she needed an informant. That being said, after Malachite is separated, Jasper would seek out Lapis in order for them to refuse. Because despite her visible torment within Malachite, she missed being Malachite. Jasper was
Well, yeah, but the thing about Jasper is, I could imagine Jasper saying like, well, no, I'm a quartz. I'm supposed to take pain. I can take the pain. I mean, she literally says to Lapis, like, I'm the only one who can handle your kind of power. What she really means is, I can take the abuse. It's fine. You can hurt me all you want. I just want to be Malachite again. That rush of power was amazing. You know? And the fucked up part is, because Lapis was able to fight against her and hold her down so long, she respects that. You know, she respects Lapis for her show of force and power. It's just like how she bows to Steven after Steven shatters her. Jasper's fucked up in the head. She was a little too well made for her role as a warrior, which made her basically like a fucking sadomasochist, you know?
Mistakenly written to be the abuse victim in this scenario. Lapis herself would admit that she liked taking out all of her anger on Jasper, anger that Jasper had nothing to do with. Lapis was definitely meant to be viewed as the abuse victim in this scenario, but her actions undeniably line up more.
I don't think so, though. I think that's just the fandom's mischaracterization of this situation. I mean, Lapis outright says, like, I liked taking everything out on you. I was terrible to you. It was bad. Like, the show makes, like, no bones about Lapis being the aggressor here. That's kind of the point, but unfortunately, Lapis is small and pretty, and Jasper is big and brutish, so people go, Jasper, like the man in this situation, must be the abuser. I kind of want to kick the ass of whoever had Jasper say that "you've changed me" dialogue, though. Like, the whole "I've changed, take me back because I've changed." Like, that, I think that is what makes people go, of course, Jasper must be the abuser here, because she's the one, you know... She's the one saying, "I've changed, baby, take me back." But that's not really what's happening here, you know? Jasper is very pretty, but a lot of people do this to her, you know? They're just like, oh, she must be the abusive boyfriend in this situation because she's big and strong, which is just very reductive. But, like, I've always said to people, I'm like, okay, which one of these characters is the one who came crawling back on her knees asking for the relationship back? Which one of them was it? It was definitely Jasper. And I remember somebody on Twitter saying it couldn't have been abuse because Jasper came back asking for more. And I'm like, are you fucking listening to yourself right now?
Abuse victim in this scenario, but her actions undeniably line up more with that of the abuser. I think it's worth remembering that abusers aren't always physically stronger. It's all about power imbalances.
Yeah, I agree with all of this,
definitely
actually.
holds all of the power in her dynamic with Jasper. Speaking about power imbalances, the way that Rose Quartz—
Oh no, now you're gonna pivot into something I'm gonna say, no, you're wrong, you're very wrong, you're exactly totally wrong. You had me for a minute there, bro. We were totally on the same page, we were agreeing, and now you're gonna fuck it up.
Cheated Pearl was a disaster and by far one of her worst atrocities during her reign of terror on Steven Universe. First things first, pearls were created to be obedient servants to gems that were higher up in Homo society, including the diamonds of course. A pearl can't reasonably consent to a romantic relationship with their master for several moral reasons.
Oh god, you're gonna fucking make this argument even though Pearl didn't fall in love with her until she was Rose Quartz. You know, and even said, oh, I like to imagine that I just met you here on Earth as a quartz soldier and I'm not a diamond's pearl and you're not a diamond, you know, like... But
even if you ignore all of that, Rose Quartz wasn't really ever romantically interested in Pearl to begin with. She canonically just...
Wrong. Very wrong. They were clearly fucking, bro. Come on now. They had a not even a situation. They had a relationship. But Pearl could never, I mean, Rose could never commit fully to Pearl, probably because Pearl was the only one who knew her secret that she's Pink Diamond. So that was like a bit of a wall between them, you know? Even on an unconscious level.
Use Pearl to get what she wanted, which was a way to escape from all of the duties of her alter ego and true identity.
Okay, wait a minute. Okay, no, you're characterizing her the way the Diamonds did, saying, oh, Pink, you're just being lazy and don't want to finish your colony, Pink. What actually happened was she saw all the life on Earth, and found it amazing and was like, well, I don't want to like destroy all this stuff to make gems. I want to preserve this planet. It's great. Everything here is constantly changing and growing, and it appealed to her because you might have noticed Pink's powers are very much focused on organic things, and that has been suppressed on Homeworld. So Rose finally found something that makes sense to her, and the other Diamonds want her to destroy it. You know, and she's expected to destroy it, even though she doesn't want to, and even though it's her planet and her colony, they're not giving her any agency over it. Yeah.
Pink Diamond. During the season 5 episode titled Now We're Only Falling, the follow-up episode to the revelation that Rose Quartz was actually Pink Diamond, we disturbingly got the chance to witness firsthand how Rose manipulated Pearl and purposely kept her infatuated, knowing full well that she didn't share Pearl's feelings. Rose could have told Pearl that she—
Okay, Pearl fucking around with like everybody she can possibly get her hands on doesn't mean she didn't like have feelings for Pearl at all. She's just a hoe, man. She's just a pansexual slut. Alright? That doesn't mean she didn't care about Pearl.
Wasn't romantically interested, but instead she decided to sleep with countless men and eventually settled down with Greg, only after she got what she wanted from Pearl, of course. All of this is information that we were told on the show, yet at the same time we got—
And dude, I'm pretty sure she's bisexual. It probably wasn't just men, but I'm sure the men probably annoyed Pearl as they would a lesbian.
lines from Sapphire and Steven insisting that Pearl and Rose potentially had a healthy relationship, and Pearl was the one that somehow swept Rose off of her feet. This scene wasn't played for laughs or anything. The series—
I mean, it was, because Pearl is the one who encouraged her to disguise herself as a quartz and check out the kindergarten, and then they went running around checking out all the flowers and things, you know? So, like, one of Rose Quartz's biggest crimes, obviously, is art theft. She stole the gem Sona design that Pearl made, you know? No, Pearl's a lesbian. Nope. In my canon, Pearl's a lesbian. Get out of here, Mystic Blue.
legitimately wanted us to believe that this was a healthy relationship, so much so that Pearl and Rose Quartz's dynamic was directly compared to Ruby and Sapphire's dynamic. Ruby and Sapphire was one of the only decently portrayed and actually healthy couples on the series, and they were amazing. I know this video has been fairly negative considering the subject matter, but I honestly can't think of a single bad thing to say about these two. Sapphires were aristocratic gems in Homo society, meaning that they were extremely valuable, and rubies being common gods were the exact opposite. Despite
Which is funny because rubies are actually kind of rarer than sapphires. But I think a lot of the gem rolls are on the perception of values of gemstones, because like diamonds aren't even that rare in real life, but you know, we consider a diamond to be the high standard of things. So are we lagging again? Yeah, unfortunately. Again, hopefully I can fucking fix this.
This after fusing for the first time in front of Blue Diamond and both becoming homeward fugitives, Ruby and Sapphire would fall for each other on the earth. They'd have their ups and downs on the show, no relationship is perfect, but they'd always work through their issues until they'd actually get married. This wedding was so important of an event to the Croniverse and Rebecca Sugar that they basically sacrificed the series on a whole just to have this episode air, after which they'd only be given a limited amount of episodes to wrap up the series. Corny never apologized to Steven for ignoring all of his calls.
Okay, so Ruby, Sapphire, good, but what was the point there?
And a horrible attitude towards him during their fallout. Lapis never got to follow up with Jasper on screen about their nightmarish past, despite the fact that she would admit to enjoying her abuse of Jasper.
My idea of what I would do with Jasper and Lapis in, like, say we had like a future series focus on Little Homeworld. The way I would do it is the two of them are avoiding each other so hard that it's actually causing problems. And it's up to everyone else to convince them to talk. That's how I would approach that. That's just me.
And the series still wanted us to believe that Rose Quartz and Pearl were honestly and truly in love. Unhealthy relationship.
I mean, they were maybe not in love. At least Rose was maybe not in love with Pearl, but they did have a relationship. You can have a relationship without it being like one true love too, bro. Like
relationships do very much exist in real life. However, all of the unhealthy relationships portrayed on Steven Universe suffer from the same massive issues and writing problems that without a doubt sends the wrong message to the—
Such as? You didn't tie any of this together. What was the— again, we're left with no point.
The series' loyal fandom. Like I said in the beginning of this video, Steven Universe was an amazing show, but it definitely had its glaring flaws. Thanks for watching. Leave a like if you've enjoyed this video and let me know if you agree with the points I've made.
These videos are so confusing. Like, it's not hostile toward the show, but like, so much of it is just like, bro, what the fuck are you talking about? What are you yapping about, my man? I don't know. Well, yeah, it seems like Rose maybe, like, yeah, Rose saw it as an open relationship and possibly Pearl didn't, but they didn't communicate about it. Also, they're gems. They wouldn't have established human social etiquette, so they probably didn't know how to approach these things. So, yeah, okay. I think we're done with this for now. Maybe we'll revisit this guy sometime if he makes more of these. But I've had these fucking connection problems all stream, and it's like 6:30. I think I'm gonna wrap up. Hopefully, I will have these issues fixed by next week. Again, see, we're doing pretty well right now. It's just like my fucking connection just dips out of nowhere. But again, I'm suspecting maybe my CPU, might have a heat problem. And that could be causing some of it. So, especially since now it's winter and we have the heat on. So, yep. So hopefully I can get it fixed. I might stream Dragon Age tomorrow night or Friday night. I love you, but this was painful. I don't think I'm even gonna cut this one into a video. This was fine for a stream. You can look at the page I did. So I did mostly backgrounds and flats today. But we're getting there, Hopefully I'll have some time to work on this more. Again, I'm not going to stream Dragon Age tonight, so probably going to work on Ant's thumbnail. I got some chores to do tomorrow. But hopefully I'll be back with Veilguard later this week. And hopefully my next Wednesday stream is probably just going to be a normal one. Just a regular old art stream where we just kind of talk and don't react to things as much. I'll have you guys vote again on the remaining contestants for the next React stream, of course. So you guys can get a choice. You voted for this. This is your fault, you guys. You fucking voted for this. Oh, thank you for complimenting my art. As I said before, I still haven't really finalized Wolfenite's colors. I'm still kind of figuring that out. But I've had a lot of other stuff to work on. Unfortunately, paid art always has to come first. Switcheroo is just kind of my hobby. It's kind of just for me, you know? And of course, I've been playing so much fucking Dragon Age lately, so that's been very distracting. After I beat that game on stream, finally, my attention will be back on editing videos and things. Anyway, I'm gonna wrap up now. I'm gonna go eat some food. I hope you guys all enjoyed that, though. Thank you for your super chats. Hopefully, I will have that fixed next time as well. And I will see you guys later.